Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. Oh my god, I hate when people spell my last name wrong. AKA PJ. There's no way. It's in our group chat. So we're just gonna go straight to Grimes' stream. Cool. Oh wait, I need my water. Hold on. It's right around the corner. Hold on. No. All right, now I am. I'm just being honest.
Hey, howdy, hey, folks, and welcome back to another edition of Late Night TCG, brought to you guys by the lovely folks here at youtube.com/Shuffle Squad. I am the Shuffle Squad's very own Kyle Koopa Rios, joined, as always, by my good friend here and teammate, Miss Emily, parentheses, Lyric Foreman. Hello, Emily. How are you?
Kyle, it's a rough day for both of us. We both played Maridon at locals, and we both proceeded to not do well. So honestly, what better way to punish ourselves than to play into the, commentate the late night that has multiple control decks in top 8, because that's a thing.
Yeah, it is certainly a thing tonight, and if you haven't noticed from the title of the stream tonight, Paradox Rift is legal for tonight's tournament. The latest expansion set in the Scarlet and Violet era is here. We are entering Area 0, where everything is either a dinosaur or a robot or some odd combination of both. And if you already enjoyed a very diverse metagame, folks, the metagame continues to get more diverse, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the evening here. But looks like, I believe our one stream is already getting ready to set up here, so I'm going to transition us over. Looks like we got Celio's network setting up on one stream. You want to tap in on that?
Yeah, no. So it looks like we're gonna be jumping right into the Gardevoir mirror. It's really funny, Kyle, because you were saying this before, how it's Paradox is legal. And of course, with Paradox being legal, you're talking about some new archetypes, right? So, for example, Roaring Moon now in the meta, so is Goldango. And I'm not seeing either of those, Kyle. I'm not seeing either of them at all in this top 8.
And we will talk more about that as just for 1 second as we transition into our first stream match. All right, and we are here, folks. As we aforementioned, we are in a sea of brand new cards here in Paradox Rift, and we might actually see one of them here in Celio Network's deck. If you're not familiar with Celio's Network, premier content creator here on YouTube, as well as a very good, excellent player and a coach on Metafy. So if you're looking to get a coach, look no further here. And there you go. Miss Screamtail making her presence known here. That is one of the additions here into Celio's deck from the new Paradox Rift expansion. Screamtail kind of fits in perfectly into what Gardevoir wants to do here. Emily, it's definitely quite the card here. That Roaring Scream attack does 20 damage, so one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on that Pokemon. Incorporate that in with things like Bravery Charm. You can knock out some pretty, I'd say, crucial support Pokemon that kind of linger around that 120 HP range.
Gotta talk about it, though, off the first prize check. We're seeing that Celios doesn't really have a lot of Curlia to kind of work with, right? Even being down 1 is bad enough, but you're especially down 2 here. So you have 1 Curlia in the hand, 1 Curlia in the deck. So I'm interested to see how the force of game is going to go here. We're going to be grabbing the Cresselia as we're going to be just filling up our bench as per usual. But yeah, Screamtail coming into the meta. A lot of the times we're seeing more of the usage, kind of like our good friend Drifloon, But I think in the mirror, it's a very interesting kind of way because Gardevoir is just going to draw so many cards, and it's all about disrupting your opponent.
Yeah, in the mirror itself as well. You know, just whoever's going to be able to get that first KO is really going to be in prime position here. So we'll see how it shakes out here. You know, the hand isn't necessarily the best right now for Celio. Oh, you know, we'll see obviously what we can get off this top deck, and we're gonna have the Curlia guaranteed in one capacity, so we're gonna at least be able to draw a couple more cards here. As we take a look at the other side here, Japan is the Mercer York. That's a tough one, and I totally booted the poop out of that one. But you know, that's neither here nor there. As we're again take a look at a deck search here, gonna get the Ralts in the hand here. And again, let's see just how well we're gonna be able to get the setup here. And there we go, the Iono. You know, I'd say if you're Celio, you'll take that. You know, take a fresh 6 cards here, and not a bad fresh 6 cards. As we also see another new addition to the deck, the Counter Catcher making its return to standard format.
This one's definitely going to be a little bit more interesting here too, because we did have kind of the path to go with into Curlia, but now we might have to actually just like bench the Zacian and Roar. It's actually a pretty slow start for both Gardevoir players, as now we're going to try and just start like getting something moving here, grabbing the Ralts here, not even the energy. And we honestly, there's a very like real world where I was just about to say this, where we're actually going to Iono just right back. It's also probably the first Gardevoir mirror I have quite literally ever seen that didn't start with VIP pass on both sides. So with 2 level ball in the hand, we will be going on ahead and grabbing the 2 Curlia, so we could start doing this draw. Now we don't have Mirage Step in hand, but honestly with double refinement, we are going to be able to see a lot more cards than Japan is on the other side.
Yep, gonna discard that Psychic Energy most likely here. Thinking about it, maybe that Collapse Stadium could be a product here. Or the Professor Turo scenario. Another new card added in this set allows you to pick up any of your Pokemon and discard all of the items attached. So, again, a great option against some of these stall decks that again, we could potentially see tonight, or see as the game advances forward. But gonna find that worker, get a couple more cards here, an Ultra Ball and a Super Rod here. So, not much to play off of here. We obviously cannot evolve into Baby Guardian right now, so we're just gonna pass the buck back to Japan. And again, the benefit here for Celio is that your board state is much more put together than the other side is right now. So only having a lone Curlia and a Ralts to play with here. Obviously, you're not sure what the hand looks like, but everything's looking awfully nice right here. As we just see another second attachment and a third Iono coming in here. So looks like that hand was really not it for Japan. So we're gonna get the level ball here. Most likely gonna get to see another. Gonna get to see the Curlia here. So we're gonna be able to. He's gonna be able to go wide here if that is what I believe the option's gonna be.
Yeah, we'll see too, because once again, I mean, Celio not having more than these 2 Curlia in the deck, 2 Curlia are also actually prized. So we'll see how many Japan has kind of attached here. Going to be grabbing the level ball, so we're probably going to be grabbing a Ralts, maybe even a Cresselia for next turn as well. Got to look at Celio's side of the screen too. I mean, we had kind of a weird direction with Shining Arcana Gardevoir, but now we're going to be making the trade into Gardevoir EX here. So we got to decide if we want to be able to swing. I mean, we still have plenty of draw with double refinement, but honestly, it's looking like Japan's board's just a little bit better right now. But off the top deck, we are going to be able to find the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, so we can start swinging this turn. But another card that was introduced into Paradox Rift that I think a lot of decks have been playing more so is this Stellar Veil Jirachi here, where we're able to turn off the possibility of getting damage counters onto the bench. And I really like that card against, of course, Sableye. That's one of like the biggest, I think, like counterplays against Lost Box that a lot of decks will be able to have now. But I mean, it could go either way. Like I said, this is our first Late Night with Paradox Rift legal, so we can get a little bit creative with these lists.
Yeah, obviously Sableye is the big culprit that comes to mind when you think of like what is something that Jirachi is useful for. But Cresselia also, just as guilty here in regards to spreading damage counters. And that's going to be huge in the mirror match. Being able to attack the bench is something that you really don't you really take for granted sometimes in these Gardevoir mirrors. So, that option is going to be gone for Celio, for the time being. Again, but that does not stop you from attacking the active. So, if he chooses to go that way, attack spread some damage and just attack the active Mirage Step Curlia, is one thing, but the damage has already been done. Looks like we're just gonna really rare candy into the Guardy EX. Maybe start moving some energy here.
Yeah, we also have reversal energy as well, so there's a lot to think about of where we want to swing. We'll be going into the Cresselia, though, as Psychic Embrace is going to start adding all of that psychic energy to the board and also adding some damage around. So we will be able to at least get a knockout here, but that means that reversal energy is going to come online for Yapon next turn, which is why we're swinging with a single prizer like that Cresselia. We're not going to be swinging into that Guardy EX. We're actually going to be bossing around it. We'll just take a Refinement Curlia. That's fine, and we're going to make Yapon kind of work for that draw into the Shining Arcana.
All right, there we go. We are souped up here with a fully loaded up Cresselia, so we could see the Lunar Blast here, just to get a straight knockout here on the Curlia. And that looks like exactly what we're aiming for here. The Lunar Blast will get Celio on the board first, so that's gonna obviously set up on a prize trade, gets a Shining Arcana Guardy off the top deck, so you'll take that, getting a secondary attacker here. Curious what direction Japon's going to go in here. You just kind of have a bench full of Curlia, not much else going for you, and you do have the reversal energy unlocked for yourself here. So that it could be an option here. I'm not curious how much energy we actually have in the discard pile right now, but we're definitely gonna have to see a secondary attacker come down at some point, which if the laws of effects for Gardevoir, they're gonna be able to get it. They always do. They can draw into it.
Yeah, there's so much draw in this deck. I also have to kind of point out that Celio's prizes have been absolutely terrible this game. Shining Arcana prize and also 2 Refinement Curlia, or at least 1 Refinement Curlia and a Mirage Step Curlia as well. That is not a pretty prize. So gonna have to fight back as much as possible. But I think when you're loading on psychic energy onto this Mirage Step Curlia, this is, its attack. You can't really actually go on with it unless you're going to evolve, and that's what Yapon is going to do here. Gonna be able to grab the psychic energy or another Ralts out of the deck using the Fog Crystal here, as we're going to start seeing more cards with Shining Arcana. Fortunately, no psychic energy off of that, so we're not going to be able to get that free attach, but we gotta start swinging now, Koopa.
Yeah, this is, I don't want to say your back's against the wall here for sure, but, we are in, the Gardevoir mirror does tend to be a little long in the tooth, so whoever wins this game 1 is obviously going to be in the prime, gate position here to do well. But only, there's already some damage here on the Cresselia. You're not going to need much else. A third energy will be enough here to get you over the hump to knock things out. So, and we're going to go for the counter catcher. So that card is only usable if you are down in prize cards. It allows you to switch your opponent's active with one of their bench Pokemon. So again, a welcome return for a lot of people here. That card has not been last seen in Crimson Invasion way back when in the Sun and Moon era. So
really good idea here from Yapon as well to just get rid of the Curlia. Going to be hitting with the Brainwave for 210, and that Curlia is going to go straight into that discard. And now we got to promote this Cresselia once more, trying to find a way to get it going. But once again, this is where the Gardevoir mirror can become a little bit more uneasy here, as now both the prizes are equal. So now essentially that reversal energy is offline. See the Screamtail still sitting in the deck aside from the Zacian V as well, but we are just going to get back 1 Ralts and 1 Curlia, get it going here, as Ultra Ball now going to come into play. Gets the Psychic Energy in the discard and the Artisan as well. But once again, it seems just like Yapon is completely set up a much more comfortable bench than Celios for sure. Going to be able to at least get the Evolve off of the Super Rod here, but honestly, I also really like the Iono pick before we start using Refinement and Shining Arcana and more.
Thinking about benching the Manaphy here. terrible idea. I mean, maybe just kind of thin some cards out, to avoid drawing into it later. And gonna go for the Ino once again. Combined, I believe 4 between both sides right now, and we get another one in the hand here. So again, it's just kind of like an interesting state to navigate here. No Guardi EX in sight here for the other side. So, if you're Celia, you're like, all right, I haven't seen Guardi EX yet. Let me just continue to disrupt the hand, hope that they don't get it, or wait to get it. Just going to get that one refinement off. Get a draw here. Countercatcher not usable, for at least until, another prize card is potentially dropped. But, nice healthy hand here for Celia's Network. 2 energies in the discard pile right now, so, not really much you need to do. I'm curious what the strategy is going to be here.
Yeah, sending it on to Screamtail. It's kind of funny, right? Because a little bit earlier, we saw Yapon kind of stuck with these 2 energy on the Mirage step. And now we kind of see Cresselia unable to do anything here. So instead, we are going to be seeing the Psychic Embrace on to this Screamtail. Once again, being very brandly new introduced into Paradox Rift here, as now we're going to be able to at least get some damage on the board swinging. And this matchup, Kyle, is like so meticulous as well, because it's all single prizers swinging back and forth. You never really want to swing with that Zacian until you know it's time to go. And same thing with your Gardevoir EX. But we are going to be able to find the knockout with the Screamtail here, as Celios going to be able to pull that Mirage Step Curlia off of the prizes. Not going to be much help as of right now, except for some Ultra Ball fodder for sure.
Yeah, again, some people might be confused as to like how that was able to go through Jirachi. You have to really pay attention to the card text in these sort of situations. That is an attack that does damage and does not move damage counters around. So, again, a great way to be able to bypass that security system. And, like I said, being able to snipe the bench in this matchup is crucial. Just being able to shut off, the draw engine, keep your opponent as low as you can on Curlias is huge. And we see a card that I'm actually pretty fond of, Zinnia's Resolve. You discard 2 cards from your hand, and you draw into as many cards as your opponent has on the field. So we have a 12, count them 12, hand right here on Japan's side. So if they don't have what they're looking for, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Lost Box effect as well. You just keep drawing as many cards as you need. Super Odd going to be into play as well, so probably going to get some of the Ralts and the Curlia back online as well. But once again, it's just going back and forth in this momentum here. Of course, Gardevoir will be able to get the knockout for sure, since that reversal energy is, excuse me, back online here. But the Super Rod is going to be grabbing those 2 Curlia and the Ralts. And now we kind of get to see how we're going to prioritize setup again. Level Ball to come out of here and to grab that Curlia that just came back into the deck. But you gotta see, there's a lot of damage counters on Celios' side, Kyle.
Yeah, and I definitely think that it could be purposeful. Obviously, you still have the Moonglow reverse effect that you can potentially use to alleviate some of that damage. I feel like this is kind of, but that's also just kind of an inevitability of playing Gardevoir. In order to soup up these Pokemon, you're going to need to throw some damage counters on them. So the board state is definitely going to be squishy enough to where Japan can swing their way back into an even prize trade here. Because like you said, either side's not willing to give up the big swing yet. Obviously, the Guardi EX on Celio's side, is allowing him to, play the game that Gardevoir knows how to play. But, no real threat of a big attacker just yet, outside of the, the Guardian the active currently, so.
Gotta talk about it as well. I mean, Yapon playing this pretty, like, conservatively, too. Guardi EX on Celios' side and not on Yapon's yet. So this is just a fresh Gardevoir that's been powered up. We haven't even seen a Psychic Embrace on the other side once. But once again, we have a lot of great resources on this side of the field, at least, on Celios' side, right? We still have Ultra Ball. We have the Artisan. But honestly, we don't even want to play that down in the Gardevoir mirror, because that's just going to help the opponent as well. 2 Ionos, again, we could very well see like 6 to 7 Ionos just in this game be flying around the Gardevoir mirror, meticulous as always.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. Obviously, in the mirror, you don't want to give, you really don't want to give your opponent any leeway. You know, obviously you want to be able to accelerate your own game, help benefit your own board state, but you know, they want to do the same exact thing that you do. So, but again, not seeing a Guardy EX this deep into the game. We've seen, you know, 3 prize cards be taken on either side, and you know, still not a sign of Guardy EX to be had. Again, looks like Jabon's probably just playing, you know, the long game here, you know, not wanting to dig themselves into a deeper, you know, prize trade hole. But we'll see what the promotion is going to be here, as the Brainwave is going to get the knockout there on Screamtail. So Screamtail getting its job done. Top decks into another Guardy EX. You know, we'll see what the play is here, but going to be able to see a decent amount of the deck here if Celio chooses to, you know, refinement, you know, before, you know, possibly IO knowing his hand back to 4.
Very true. So meticulous once again, because Cresselia unable to get the knockout here, just because this Gardevoir is still very, very fresh. So instead, we're just going to throw the Iono out here. Nothing gained, nothing truly lost. Going back down, you got to talk about it too. I mean, there's Radiant Greninja. We haven't even been able to see Radiant Greninja basically this entire time.
And
and we're not going to see it ever again either. Going to be able to find the Super Rod too for some help.
Yeah, Greninja kind of a non-factor in this, you know, matchup. I think you have enough draw on board to where you don't really need it at this point in the game. You know, obviously Greninja helps your early game. But in this case, you don't really need it. But I'm looking squarely at the elephant in the hand right now. That is the Lustrous Cape. Gives your Pokemon, I believe, an extra 100 HP. If I remember that number correctly, I will check myself currently. Yep, you get an extra 100 HP, but your opponent takes 1 more prize card for when they knock you out. So definitely something to keep in mind here. You could beef up something potentially very beefy with a jacket. So.
Yeah, true. It's cold.
But can only be attached to non-Roblox Pokemon. So for those of you at home, you know, listening, pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, this would make sense to throw down the Shining Arcana just so we get a little bit more durability out of Shining Arcana. And honestly, let's be real, Shining Arcana Gardevoir does also kind of swing like a 2-prizer anyway. So it's kind of feels right to finally be able to take 2 prizes off of one of these kind of pesky things. But honestly, the benches on both sides looking pretty good. Yapon, though, just very, very fresh right now, as we are going to see the Collapse Stadium potentially just trying to make Yapon make a choice. Also, I like how Manaphy and Jirachi have just kind of been chilling with the Gardevoir lines on both sides here. So we're doing a little check in the discard. Only 2 Psychic Energy in the discard here. We're going to Brainwave, though, for this 150. Get that reversal energy out of here. And Cilios going to go down to 3 prizes.
Yep, again, you know, the Gardevoir journey is a long and tough one sometimes. So, you know, just using the right amount of resources, getting the right amount of math to get that KO. And, you know, we'll see what is in the hand here for Japon. Again, this deep into the game, I've not seen a Guardy EX on their side yet. So, and they've been really, you know, doing a good job just kind of piecemealing it together, you know, with refinements, you know, attachments from hand. It's definitely, you know, speaks for the art of how, you know, rough this matchup can be sometimes.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of choices we can go here. We could try and just pull into the Gardevoir here. But remember, we have a whole nother game after this. We were talking about Professor Turo's scenario a little bit earlier as well. One of the newer supporter cards to come into Paradox Rift. Really excited to see this card played. Honestly, in pretty much a lot of decks, right? I see a lot of Mew VMAX players talking about Turo's scenario because it's essentially like Penny, but it's for any Pokemon. And that's pretty important, especially when it's like a VMAX Pokemon as well that has been damaged heavily. But there's the Screamtail coming down on Yapon's other side here. So we are going to Psychic Embrace onto the Ralts just to kind of get it on out of here. And then we'll probably be seeing actually the Screamtail as the one who's going to be able to take out Gardevoir here. But we have a lot of decisions to make, Kyle. See what we are going to be promoting here. Like I said, it's probably the Screamtail. I would be very surprised if it wasn't, because usually you don't want to bench something unless you're really going to use it, but we'll see.
Yeah, especially in a matchup like this, you know you really want to save your silver bullets for when you're able to actually utilize them. And again, we talked about how Baby Guardy could be a recipient to the illustrious cape. Also, a Pokemon that can utilize it well here is Screamtails. You know, being able to add, have 190 at your disposal and really soup up that roaring scream attack. Really. I'd have to do the math on top of my head. Multiplying by 2s is very hard at 2 in the morning. But I'm at, it could potentially be an option here. Super Rod going to get some pals back in the deck here as both players are entering the bottom third of their decks. Again, in typical Gardevoir fashion, you are able to draw like no machine has ever been able to do so before. So, curious what the choice is going to be here. But it looks like we're most likely going to use Screamtail here as the primary attacker to, possibly knock out this. You could knock out the Cresselia, could knock out the Curlia on the bench there. But most likely, if it's the right move would be to knock out the active Gardevoir here.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to let just Gardevoir hang around at this point, right? This Baby Guardy is such a menace, right? I mean, it is only a one prizer, but it ends up being able to swing for absurd numbers here. So we will be seeing the Psychic Embrace as Yapon is going to start juicing the Screamtail up. We'll see exactly where all of these damage counters or damage is going to go. But yeah, the Luxurious Cape, the Turos, there's a lot of fun things that we now have in Paradox Rift for, I think, a lot of decks, right? I think a lot of people are just looking at Roaring Moon a lot of the times, or they're looking at Gold Dango, and they're kind of like abandoning hope on some of their old decks. But I mean, we got to talk about it again. There are no Roaring Moons, no Gold Dangos in this top 8, and Roaring Moon, I think, was the most played deck of this late night for North America, and we're not seeing any of it.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the splashes of like what the new tech cards are. Obviously, there's new deck archetypes to talk about within the new Paradox Rift set, but also a lot of great consistency cards to make already existing archetypes a little bit better. Obviously, we're seeing the Screamtail incorporated here. We're seeing the Iron Hands being incorporated into things like Lugia and Chen Pao, making those archetypes already that were already pretty threatening, even more threatening. So we'll talk more about that as we get there. As we're gonna get another Super Rod here, as Celio draws into the Zinnias as well. So I'm assuming these two are playing what I imagine would be, if not the same exact 60, a very similar 60. Which could be preview of LAIC coming up in I believe another week or so. So
yep,
definitely something you want to keep in mind here.
Yeah, with LAIC basically around the corner, I think a lot of people are kind of waiting to see what the meta comes out of there, especially for our newer decks like Roaring Moon, like we mentioned a little bit before. Zinnias, though, so we'll be able to discard the Shining Arcana and the Psychic Energy. And we got to talk about the mill, Kyle. I mean, there's only 10 cards left in the deck on Celio's side. There's 15 cards in the other. And honestly, we want to just play a little bit more reserved here. So we do have Cresselia. We can Moonglow reverse, but instead, it's going to be a balloon fight, as we will be seeing the Screamtail with that Luxurious Cape. So Celio's putting on a show for content for sure.
Yeah, we're milling for sure. There we go. The big jacket on the Screamtail. That's going to be able to. We're going to see truly what the damage cap's going to be here, because it's going to be some funny stuff. So.
Yep, just loading it up. I listen. Just give it all of the energy. Why not?
Oh my god, that is a
All
7, 8. So we could be.
That is so funny.
And that's 8 energies. That's 160 damage. Do you dare Fog Crystal for another one?
Yeah, why not? Nah, we'll just get the Curlia instead. Honestly, we can still Refinement here too. Still also have Shining Arcana as well. So off of the Refinement, we could probably pitch the Artisan or something like that. We can even still use the Fog Crystal, if anything, as well. So we'll see what we pitch off of the refinement here. Could just also be the Ultra Ball, but instead it will be the refinement. There's Zacian once again. We probably want to get this knockout with Screamtail here so that we hit the boss's orders into the Zacian for the Gardevoir EX, which would be the smartest play. But we can probably imagine, like you said, with Yaupon and Celios playing probably close to the same 60. We understand what the win
320 damage!
Never mind. It's 320 damage. That is hilarious, Kyle.
She is screaming. My gosh. That's
a Mariah Carey high level. No, by the way. When Mariah Carey on November 1st screamed, "It's time," it was actually Screamtail.
That is the true secret of Area Zero, as, again, we've seen what the damage cap is there. 8 energies for 320 damage, and, again, you can take the 2 prizes up to Screamtail, man. Like, at this point, you're really set your opponent back a bit here if you're Japon. So, let's see what the response is going to be here, but they're going to have to really dig, to rebound here.
What would be so funny is if Yaupon played a Lost Vacuum, and we're able to just get the cape. Screamtail would be KO'd off of that, and then just another Screamtail back. That would be insane. But once again, Yaupon, no Gardevoir EX in sight. We do have to evolve for it again, so the Ultra Ball is going to be coming down here. See what cards we're going to pitch off of Yaupon's hand. But honestly, with that professor's research being played, Kyle, we kind of know the game is already in hand here, with Celios having to only take one more prize card, and we still have Zacian B waiting and ready to go.
Yeah, the board state is very much inclined in Celios' favor right now. Everything's unfortunately a little bit clogged up, and tough stuff, man. You thought that maybe the Jirachi would actually be able to stop the Screamtail, but no, it does not. So, we're gonna see, Japon give it the old college try here. There's 5 cards left in the deck and a counter catcher into the Manaphy here. Maybe try, maybe go for a stall tactic here of some sort. Nope. Oh God, 4 jackets.
Multiple, right? I mean, we talked about how these lists are practically playing the same.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how exactly we're going to try and stall this out. But once again, seeing that research kind of came out on Yaupon's side and no, what's it called? No handed. Oh, never mind. That was this turn? I thought they researched last turn. Or this turn. Whatever. All right. Well, that's reversal energy still. So that's really tough. I could have sworn that they researched this turn. But it is what it is.
No, well, I mean, if anything, you'll take that, and you'll do again. It's hard to Iono in the mirror, of course, because your opponent does have a way to draw out of it. So, but we shall see how it pans out here for either side. Again, trying to get something going here. If you're Japon, 1 card left in the hand, 2 cards left in the deck.
Yeah, no, if you're able to get the counter catcher onto Screamtail, honestly, or here we go, the Cresselia, just as good. We're looking pretty solid, honestly, if you're Yaupon. But, of course, this is just very easy, refinement fodder coming out from Celios, too, with that reversal energy. Only needs to do 100, but with Moonglow Reverse, we'll be able to just pop the balloon known as Screamtail, or we'll even be able to find a Curlia here. I like this as well.
All right, there we go. It's really digging for it. All right, so we're going to try to stall the Manaphy active, gets the Iono off the top deck.
Yeah, I was about to say. No, the reversal energy, and then Screamtail just going to be...
Ah!
The emotes are the 320. Yeah, no. Honestly, I think we should have just popped the balloon there, Kyle. But regardless, it will be Celios taking that. And yes, it is only game 1, as the very funny quote from TCG Live, the air in the Drifloon, not going to be able to be enough. So let's see Honestly, a really hard fought game from both players, but it just seemed like Celios had a very solid recovery from every single Iono that we saw. I think we pointed it out, there were like 5 Ionos across both sides. So that's going to be Celios going up 1-0 in the set so far. Japan's going to have the ability to choose whether they want to go first or second. But I also have to say that the rest of the bracket is still going on. Day Camp in Trenton, still also playing it out in our top 4. Day Camp playing the Lugia list, very specifically the colorless Lugia with the Snorlax, Radiant Zard, and also the Iron Hands. And we haven't even gotten to talk about Iron Hands EX yet tonight. But Trenton, of course, playing that stall deck. You hate to see it if you're some people. You love to see it if you're others. So we have Snorlax stall, colorless Lugia, Chalo with that Mew, VMAX still kicking it, and then we'll have a Gardevoir in there too. Gotta say it once again, Kyle. No Roaring Moon in this top 8, and no Roaring Moon in this top 4.
No, again, we were getting to take a peek at the other side of the coin here in Paradox Rift. We get to take a look at the existing archetypes that get a really strong addition with these new cards. Like we've seen Screamtail, carry its championship weight in here. Obviously, Iron Hands has been making moves all day. What y'all know about that cloth deck, though? That's that is my flavor of the week. So, but
this is a hand, right?
That's certainly a Gardevoir hand.
Yeah, this is a hand, right? So we have a couple of choices to make, Kyle. Do we play down the Artisan that Japan can also benefit from and get another Waltz? Do we burn this level ball? Looks like we will be playing down the Artisan, and I dare say so myself, this might be the first Gardevoir mirror and the first Gardevoir players I think I've ever seen that don't get VIP pass off of turn 1. We got 3 Curlias this time, though. We got a Mirage Stepper, and all 4 Curlias actually in the deck this time, so this should be a little bit more pleasant for Celios here, but we are probably going to be burning the level ball too, just to, at least get some Pokemon on the bench.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. Not having a VIP pass is really, really unfortunate. Obviously it helps you start wide to start the game, but also you hate, again, in a deck that draws a lot of cards, you don't want to draw into these cards in the later stages of things. Thankfully, your Curlia, you can just discard anything and you're able to kind of clean up the grenades in your hand. But again, it's one of those things where, God forbid you hit a refinement, turn 2, and you draw into 2 battle VIP passes. You know what I mean? So, definitely you would have liked to see 1, at the very least, but not all are created equal. And again, having to play the Artisan down just to kind of, help alleviate some of the pressure of a rough start. So, we'll see how it works out here for Japan as well. Again, no sign, doesn't look like any sign of a VIP pass on their end either.
Yeah, this is crazy because honestly, Kyle, it may just be almost 3 a.m. I just realized both these lists don't actually play a Mysterious Tail Mew. So we just don't even look for items at this point. Jirachi and Manaphy are the ones that are just kind of here to soak all that damage. And honestly, if I'm Japan, I was going to say, yeah, we need to find some more cards here. So it will be the first Iono of many. We'll see what 6 cards Celios gets. That is not exactly what you want, but the Mirage Stepper Gardevoir or the Mirage Stepper Curlia can definitely come into play here.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see how it shakes down here. Again, we're using the attack here for Jirachi. Not a terrible idea. Gonna allow you to accelerate some energy into the hand. Top sexization. If you could potentially go, I was gonna say you would have been able to go aggressive earlier, but no, it looks like we're just gonna still get the aggressive blow here and get, there you go, 1, 2, 3 ballerinas out in the deck here. And again, just do a quick deck search. Shout out to TCG for PTCG L for stacking the deck for you, so you can prize check much easier.
Yeah.
Really makes your job so much easier. And there we go. A bench full of Curlias. So, really, really great start here for Celio. Going to be able to draw into a lot of cards this next turn, having so many options of whether, of where you want to go here. And again, Japan's board state just looking a little meek here, but we'll see what this next turn, being able to evolve here, will allow them to do.
Yeah, so it looks like we're probably going to evolve into the Mirage Step, use the manual retreat from Jirachi, and just get it going with another side of Curlias here. I feel like the Gardevoir mirror has just changed so much, even with just Paradox Rift coming into play here. We're going to see the Screamtail, though, taking bench on Yapon's side. We are going to be seeing Mirage Step here. And now we have 2 Shining Arcana Gardevoirs that we can work with. Also Zacian in the hand as well. Love to see a supporter, but my goodness, Kyle. 2 Shining Arcana Gardevoirs and the top deck EX here. But Gardevoir EX does get better with the more energy you have in the discard. And it doesn't look like we have too many just yet.
No, not quite yet. Obviously the... A great start here, but again, we're just immediately going to evolve into that Shiny Arcana. Going to hit 1 here, so that's going to be a step forward here for Celio as he continues to draw into a lot of cards. And you still have that rare candy on deck to play with as well. Just going to immediately get rid of the Cresselia. You now have your option between Worker and a Boss's Orders. So it looks like Worker most likely is going to be the play here. You're going to draw an extra 3 cards and get rid of the Artisan for later. Or you can Refinement it away. You have your options here. Zacian going to hit the deck here.
Man, Celios really just needs like an energy to just like get going. And we can't really find it either. I mean, it seems like the Curlia in the front is going to be our main attacker. So we'll be able to get that evolve here. But like you said, Kyle, we are going to be seeing the Worker, potentially. But maybe we want to draw some more cards first. So it will be the evolve onto our Curlia in the active. We'll see that Shining Arcana. See how exactly this one is going to go. But it is just the cape and the level ball, as we are going to be grabbing that Screamtail just to thin out the deck a little bit. But here comes Worker. There's the Psychic Energy, so we can at least get something started here. Start getting those prize trades back and forth. But man, Kyle, look at all those cards in Celios' hand. And there's just not that much energy to really work with in the discard.
Yeah, it's tough when your hand is this. Your hand is huge, but you're not necessarily like step on the gas here. You don't really need to. Obviously, going to be able to get the Brainwave here for the early knockout, but now that unlocks, obviously the reversal energy, the counter catcher. So Japan's going to have their ways to get back into the game here. And if anything, we've obviously seen Iono be a big factor here, and depending on how the hand looks for Japan, it's like, okay, they can see the Zinnias come down instead. You're like, okay, my opponent has a huge hand, and they're not necessarily as far ahead as you would assume one would be with a hand size like that. So, as both players holding the diner menus in their hands right now, without a large of a hand size they're playing with on either side.
Yeah, still Celios, of course, since we only get this one side view, looking really good so far. So we saw the Zinnias as well. So we have Gardevoir EX in hand. We have 2 Ionos. We have Boss's Orders as well. We have the Cape. Love to see the Cape in there. But still, once again, Gardevoir doing what Gardevoir does best. That's just drawing some more cards, Kyle. See the rare candy into the Gardevoir EX. So maybe Screamtail's going to start singing her way in to this game number 2 here, as Refinement is going to go down. Yapon going to be discarding the Pokemon League headquarters here too. That's a card that's seeing a little bit more play too, especially versus our favorite deck tonight, Miraidon, because it does require all basic Pokemon to swing for that 1 more energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Psychic Embrace going to come through here. And you're just going to immediately attach to the Screamtail. Obviously, if anything, you're mostly going to try to take out a Curlia here. Obviously, big hand size. You want to try to keep your opponent stuck with it, but attacking the engine could be the wave here.
See how much damage we are going to be doing.
That's gonna be
80 onto the Curlia, like you mentioned. but still leaving yourself up to just getting reverse KO'd by the Gardevoir still in the active. Fog Crystal as well, so we'll start being able to see more energy in the discard too. But when you have these diner-sized hands, like you said, Kyle, there's so many choices that you can make, and Gardevoir is one of those decks where your sequencing actually matters a lot here. So, do you Refinement first, use Shining Arcana first, do you go on ahead and Evolve first? There's a lot of choices that we can kind of go through.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough, to be or not to be situations, but we're gonna thin out some of this energy out of the deck here, for sure. With the Fog Crystal, you're gonna use Curlia to reach all the way over to the right and they grab, discard that energy. You see the other Fog Crystal here, so do you potentially thin out another energy? Just continue to kind of add on to what you got here. Go throw the Manaphy onto the bench.
Yeah, it makes sense because Screamtail just has been getting a lot of playtime this game. But I like how also we're holding on to just the Evolve just to make sure. Ooh, potentially the boss, but instead we are going to Shining Arcana first. We got the Palpad and the Level Ball. There's just so many cards in the hand, Kyle. All three probably Ionas in the deck, but it will be the boss's orders onto the Curlia without energy here. So we'll be able to take a Curlia for a Curlia. The Fog Crystal, though, to grab some more energy out. We have that Ultra Ball as well. So we'll be able to get it more in the discard. Or we're just going to go for the Raw Attach this turn. Honestly, I don't hate this idea either, just because Curlia isn't too bulky in terms of damage. So we are going to be swinging for that 100 plus damage, and that's just going to be just fine.
Yep, excellent stuff right there. So we're even up in the prize cards right now. And again, if in case you guys are just joining us and you want to update what's going on here, we obviously Day Camp and Trenton still locked up at 1-1. Winner just goes on to play at Shallow Zamorano. Took out Jared Grimes in top 8. So the winner will have a date with Fusion Mew coming up after this. So he looks kind of waiting over the options. He goes for the Palpad, just going to get the one boss back in. Again, the deck already so thin, you're most likely going to be, you're setting yourself up for the end game here to where you're going to be able to draw into exactly what you need and when you need it. So just going to swing at the active, hit what's directly in front of you, get another prize card here, and continue to go on the warpath here. So 4 prize cards to 5. Let's see what the response is going to be here from Japon.
And once again, Celios holding back just a little bit with benching the EX, but like you said, Counter Catcher coming into play here to get potentially rid of the other Curlia. I feel like Curlias are just flying left and right here. Going to be benching another Ralts, but it's really important to get these Curlias out of here because you just want to kind of stop your opponent's setup time. So we got Screamtail ready to go here. As the Iono is going to come through. Now, the Palpad is definitely from last play on Celios' side going to come into play here. But look, another Iono and that Reversal Energy. Now, granted, it's not going to be activated just yet, but to know that it's just in the deck ready to go when you need it is very, very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent stuff. So yeah, the Screamtail looks like it's going to be the primary attacker here, for Japon. Rightfully so. Again, being able to do a quick 80 right now, you at least knock out almost everything in the, that's unevolved right now. So you're definitely going to have your pick of the litter. There you go. Rome's going to come out here. We're going to do 80 somewhere, most likely to this active Curlia, and there we go. It's going to be, once again, evening things up in the prize trade here. You decide wanting to budge, getting the, these big KOs out here.
Right. Shining Arcana, ready to go. Do you see the Collapse Stadium? This one would be interesting. But it will just be potentially the reversal attach onto the Arcana Gardevoir on the bench here. I like the collapse play to make Yapon think just a little bit on what we want to prioritize. Because obviously we would want to keep the EX, the Ralt, and the Curlia. But we would have to prioritize losing either Jirachi or Manaphy here too. I'm thinking attach return onto the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, and then we'll see what we get off of the Shining Arcanas. But first, I was about to say, okay, Iono, I don't hate it. We're just going to keep pushing all of our hands to the bottom of the deck. We need an Iono counter, Kyle.
Yeah, I lost count. I think we're up like we're already at like 1 million right now at this point, truthfully. But getting continued on the warpath here. Super Rod gonna get the support guys back into deck. A couple of Curlias and a Cresselia. And again, just gonna go for the Shining Arcana. Hope you're drawing to what you need here. It is Cresselia, so that helps. Another Shining Arcana. Gonna come out here, and you get the Curlia. Excellent stuff right there. Great shuffling on the part of Celio.
Yeah, the RNG calculator definitely on Celios' side. You also have the rare Candy Gardevoir EX just in case, too. Things are looking real good, but honestly, we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it simple. That EX is going to stay in the hand until we feel like it's time to go. And we will just Brainwave for the knockout here. No Luxurious Cape on the Screamtail. So the Screamtail just going to be worth that one prize. We're going to be able to pick up a Fog Crystal off of the prizes. And now Yapon's got a little bit of work cut out for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you find yourself kind of down in the races right now. But you do have the Guardi EX set up on your side. So, I mean, you're cooking right now. And again, being down in the race right now, that is going to allow Reversal Energy to be on deck here. Continue for Celios. Again, I'm very impressed with being able to pilot this without the need for the Guardi EX right now. You know, just solely relying on these a couple, you know, a lot of shining, kind of a couple of lucky shiny Arcanas. You know, obviously being able to draw through the deck helps as well.
See though, 4 prizes, 2-3. Obviously, we just want to get the Gardevoir out of here. In the active too, because then reversal energy doesn't really kind of contribute to the conversation. But we do also have boss's orders as well. Going to be burning the Ultra Ball here. We'll see what we'll be getting out. That's going to be the EX and the Ralts as we find another Shining Arcana Gardevoir. And honestly, the evolve to the Curlia onto the bench is going to be the play. We can retreat the Ralts here and start swinging once more, but we'll just take those 2 cards as of right now. I feel like we really haven't seen much of that energy attach here. So it is going to be the Cresselia coming into play. We'll be able to probably use that Moonglow reverse to get the Ralts out of here, but we could also just be sacking the Cresselia as well as kind of like that one prizer. But it seems like Celios definitely has the game under control.
Yeah, definitely not looking too phased by it either. And again, you're going to use that Moonglow reverse, heal the damage off, and knock out the Ralts in the corner there. So again, another draw engine option being taken off the board here for Celio. But, you know, you do have the Rare Candy Gardevoir option to play with here. You're just going to draw a couple more cards with Shining Arcana. And once again,
jeez. I feel like we're back to just the same hand that we had maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've seen this hand before. It looks familiar.
Yeah, true. I'm going to be grabbing the energy off of the Fog Crystal here. Do have Ultra Ball Enhanced. We'll be able to get some more energy into the discard. But, you know, it's kind of funny. The bracket is just so lopsided now, too, that we're just going to be able to go into match to match to match. Because Daycamp and Trenton are at game 3. And I feel like Chalo is just waiting in the wings there with the Mew VMAX. Funny, psychic decks that just keep on drawing, Kyle.
Yeah, keep it on for sure. So, again, just gonna once again, the Zinnia is gonna come through here. You're gonna see a swapping 6 more cards here. So the hand continues to grow in size here for Celio. Just trying to make sure you got every base covered here, making sure you have every option you need. Gonna get evolve into Curlia, see, you know, potentially another 2 cards here.
So waiting, lots of decisions. Once again, this is a meticulous deck. It's very, very important that you sequence correctly here, especially when it's kind of down to whether going to a game 2 or keep going on. The refinement there, we'll be able to grab the Fog Crystal and another rare candy here. I feel like we just have the entire deck in our hands at this point. I feel like Gardevoir just holds the whole entire deck at certain points of the hand. So does like Roaring Moon too. Roaring Moon like mills through faster than like a lot of decks here. So we'll see. Doing a little check of the discard. So now Celios gonna have to decide whether we want to just take the knockout with Brainwave here, and then just kind of hope that our hand doesn't get interrupted here. But once again, Ultra Ball for the Thin. We will be grabbing the Radiant Greninja. Can't imagine that we're going to be seeing much use out of it, aside from just throwing it onto the bench. But honestly, Celia knows a little bit better than I do, because I wouldn't even bench that if I were them. But once again, they know a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things you don't want to give up the prize trade here. You know, you don't want to bench a 2-prizer. Obviously, it looks like Celia is just sitting on, I'm going to get Japon down to 2. I'm going to, then utilize my strategy of unleashing, Guardy EX and then going for the home run swing. So, again, I'm curious. I didn't get a great look at what's left in the deck still, but, no, we're not on new prize cards. You have all the search cards and all, all the options you need in your hand right now. So, Japon certainly can't win the game on this turn, but Celio certainly can on his next turn. So, again, just going for the smart promotion of the Guardy EX here, making it as hard for your opponent to net this knockout as possible. But we'll see. It's going to be tough, and considering you're going to want to attack with this Guardy EX possibly, you're going to have to put some damage counters on us, and this is going to kind of lower, the target here for Celio.
Just wanted to also give a bracket update as well. Day Camp is going to be waiting in our finals with the colorless Lugia, so did triumph over Trenton with the stall. So we will be seeing Mew VMAX, we will be seeing Lugia, and then one of these wonderful Gardevoir players. It's leaning more towards Celio, because once again, I do believe we have Zacian still waiting in the wings as well. We also have that Turo, and we also have Boss. There's a lot of things that we can kind of get going here. But Yapon's going to have to start making moves really, really quickly, because it seems like Celio's win condition is basically here.
Yeah, no, Celio did the right thing. Again, you're really just kind of piecing together a long, obviously a long game here, but you're doing it the right way. You're not giving your opponent any sort of opportunity to get ahead in the prize race, but you're holding on to all your resources, making sure that you can. So, again, surprised that the hand's been able to get this large. We have not seen a disruption in a minute, but it just speaks for the amount of draw cards you play in here, the amount of cards that allow you to really beef up that hand size. And Zinnia is the, I think, the MVP for that. I've seen that card kind of popping up seldomly in certain lists, but it's proven to be very, very effective in a deck like this.
Still, once again, lots of decisions being made here. As now Celios just trying to decide, or Yapon, excuse me, trying to decide how we want to handle this here. Cresselia going to be coming down. We're going to be Psychic Embracing, and we're going to probably see another knockout onto Acrolia or even the Gardevoir in the active, but I'm just going to be juicing up this Brain Waver on the bench here. This is once again Cresselia, Gardevoir, lots of attackers in this deck. See exactly which one's going to go first.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to retreat out here, and it looks like we're going to be sniping the bench here, either the Ralts or the Curlia. Is going to be the the receiver on this Moonglow reverse. Most likely to Curlia again. You want to hit the deck where it hurts the most in the draw engine, but you don't really have to draw when you have the entirety of the deck in your hand. So,
very true. Fog Crystal as well, just to once again do another little prize search. We are just going to go on ahead and mill, and we'll be seeing that Moonglow reverse probably onto that Curlia, over on the left side, and we will be seeing it as now there is some bench space, Kyle, and we can only imagine what's going to be coming down now with that boss's orders in hand.
Yeah, we have boss in hand. We potentially have enough resources to get this to work. Yeah, we're on even pride, so you're going to have to get this done with the Guardy in the active. The reversal energy is going to be null and void here. But still an energy left in the deck. Just kind of scouting your options here. You do still have the Cape and the Screamtail at your disposal as well, but so much energy already been removed from the deck right now that, I think you're just going to have to either swing with, could be Zacian, could be, or most likely it could be Screamtail. Actually, curious let's see what's what the strategy is going to be here. Again, he could also just go to slow approach here because considering that he got the first attack, it's going to be hard to get the prize trade here unless he knocks out the Guardi EX. But can't do that when Guardi EX doesn't exist.
And also can't go for the final swing with Zacian being prized as well. 5 cards less than.
It looks like Zacian was in a
deck.
discard, not prized.
Oh yeah, discard. Excuse me. It's 3:18 in the morning. It's late. See how this one's going to go though. I like how Cilios is just like not even going for the embrace play, just because that Gardevoir on the bench over on Yapon's side for psychic energies. See how this one's going to go though. We're going to potentially evolve into Curly, get some more draw. Gotta check out this discard pile though. 5 energy in the discard for Yapon, and honestly, Kyle, we could be seeing a game 3 if anything, but we just want to just double, triple make sure check that we're not in any true imminent danger right now.
Nope. Again, just kind of checking to see what the strategy is here. Again, looks like, instead of going for the 2 prize knockout, it looks like Celios just going to kind of, take the conservative route. Knowing he has enough energy on board to take the knockout here, he will be okay for the most part. But really thinking about it, looking at what their opponent's discard pile has to play with. Only 4 cards left in the deck. You don't want to put yourself in a scenario where you end up decking out. Going to throw the second reversal energy down on the baby Guardi.
Okay, still just waiting. Once again, it's such a meticulous deck. Now we got Shining Arcana. We have to be a little bit more careful too, because we have to leave some cards in the deck to kind of work with. The Iono here would be very interesting as well, but Ultra Ball down here too. Going to be getting rid of the Shining Arcana and the Screamtail, so we're doing a little bit more of that mill. Or never mind, we'll just be getting rid of double rare candy. And you know what? We technically don't even need them anymore. There's a Luxurious Cape and the Collapse Stadium still in play here. So I'm going to be benching the Screamtail, just throwing out the potential threat there. And honestly, the Iono there too to make sure that we don't mill. I think it's a really good idea, but of course Celios just going to think about it just for one more second before going through with it.
Yeah, really thinking about it right now, but you're going to Shining Arcana again. See the last 2 cards in the deck. Get everything you need here, and you're just going to Iono everything back into the fray here. So, curious how that works out when you can't. How do you put everything at the bottom of your deck when there's no deck? How does that really work?
That's a big shuffle, and then your opponent technically has to cut at that point. But got the Brainwave, and not a bad 3 cards in Celios' hand too. We got Bosses and Gardevoir EX here. We'll see what we'll be able to pull off of the prize cards. Will be that psychic energy. So honestly, Kyle, things are looking pretty good.
Yeah, the checkmate looks like it's here. There is no way for, barring a natural disaster or something that I don't know about, there is no way here for Japon to win the game. You're basically staring on the barrel of two fully loaded up attackers here. So you can kind of just pick your poison, but this game is all but over, especially with the Guardi EX in the hand right now. So you're gonna be able to get whatever energy you want to net this knockout next turn.
Tossing away the Avery here, so we're going to see a little bit more cards. There is the Shining Arcana onto the bench here. And like you said, you're in such a tough spot because all that energy gets to go into the discard as well. Level Ball here. So we are going to be grabbing... I feel like there's been Super Rods flying everywhere on this deck. It could also just be a fail. See exactly what we're trying to fish for here. Go either way, but like we've been kind of alluding to, Celios definitely has checkmate in hand for certain.
Yeah, just kind of waiting over the options. He's taking his time, thinking over, is there anything I can humanly do here? But, I think just, being on the wrong end of an odd price. Yep. Realizing that there's no way to win the game here. And that's going to be game set and a match here. It's going to be Celio moving on into top 4. As again, we update you guys on what's going on In the rest of the pairings, obviously Daycamp going to be sitting all the way in finals. And yeah, Celio moving on nicely into the next one. So we're going to transition quickly back over to us while these guys get set up, Emily. So we'll talk about what just happened. So hold on for 2 seconds, guys. And it's us again. Hello. You probably forgot what we looked like. And yeah, that was quite the barn burner for sure. Again, the Gardevoir mirror, like we mentioned, long in the tooth. It's a real chess game for sure. And Celio, showing that you don't need no stinking Guardy EX to come on top there. Really showcasing it's like, with enough draw power and manual attachments, considering that both sides have to set up at the same pace in the mirror, you can really put yourself in prime, pole position strictly just by, taking the longest route there for all my Catan players out there. But yeah, excellent subject from Celio. You're gonna have to another tough challenge to go up against the Fusion Mew, as we'll keep kind of monitor there as Celio gets his stuff set up on the other side. But Fusion Mew versus Gardevoir. I don't think Chalo is bringing anything super different. With this list, everything looks pretty much the same. There's a copy of Crystal Cave in here, so that's more so to help you against Lost Box. You can heal off some cram damage, but for the most part, this is a pretty standard Mew list. Echoing Horn obviously pops up every now and then, and depending on the deck list. But I think this is a fine deck going into Gardevoir. Obviously both these decks are dependent on how quickly can you set up. Is Mew gonna be able to? Is the path gonna be able to stick for long enough for you? But if Celio plays the way that he did in that last game, where you can just kind of play around, needing the big guns, path might not even be a factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Gardevoir. I think Mew EX or Mew VMAX. Excuse me. We'll get there. Like I said, it's 3:30 in the morning. It's kind of late.
It is early. It is very early in the morning right now.
You have to go to work in like 2 hours. You're gonna have a really great
5.
day.
I'll drink coffee.
Boy. Oh boy. Yeah. So I think a lot of the kind of hype around Paradox Rift kind of had a lot of people looking at Mew VMAX as kind of a deck with one foot in the grave, right? I mean, Mew VMAX being weak to dark, and then you have Terra type Charizard. And you also have, Roaring Moon, and Mew VMAX is still holding strong. It has to play a lot more reserved, right? I mean, you definitely want to just hold on to your VMAXs until you have to use them. But honestly, with friends like Meloetta and with Ice-Q, you could still work your magic around. And I think from, the kind of whispers that I've been hearing around, the list may change by like 1 or 2 cards, right? A lot of the times, I think Mew players are trying to justify putting in the Justified Gloves, which do that 30 more damage to the Dark type, or Dark type Pokemon. But I mean, once again, to have Paradox Rift legal and then have a Mew still in top 4 is very, very impressive.
It truly is something for sure. And let's let me just double check on the live screen here, make sure we're okay. It looks like they're about to get ready to get started. So, hang tight, folks. We're going to jump into our top 4 match. And we look at that. Here we are, folks. Getting into it here. Looks like it was Chalo going first here. Looks like starting with the Gardevoir, the Cresselia here is Celio. So kind of a rough start here. You have the Fog Crystal to at least get yourself a Ralt on the board, and kind of a rough start on the other side there for for Chalo. Obviously, both these decks want to start wide as humanly possible. If you're a Mew player and you haven't dug through the first 20 cards of your deck on the first turn, something terrible probably went wrong. But we'll see how Celio is able to rebound here in what's not necessarily even a more ideal board state, but we'll see what happens.
I feel like you only really have one choice off of this Fog Crystal, and it does have to be the Ralt here. I mean, you do have the Curlia in hand. Do also have the Ultra Ball if you want to play it just like that. But to see a Mew player only start with 1 Genesect and 1 Mew and 3 cards in hand, like you said, Kyle, it's not looking too great on Zen's side over here, but potentially thinking about the Ultra Ball. Like I said, I would personally do it because you gotta ensure that Curlia in your hand at least has somewhere to go next turn, just in case of a boss play, just in case of kind of disaster here. So Cilio's thinking about the Ultra Ball, but it could really kind of go multiple ways.
Yeah, again, just trying to, what the best option is. You're going to go for the Ultra Ball. Most likely going to get rid of a couple of energies. It doesn't, where it could be an energy Naturo. Again, doesn't really make a difference here. Those energies going to have to hit the discard pile eventually, but, gonna do the smart thing, get the energies out of the hand. Gonna immediately set up a couple of Ralts. You could sit down the Collapse now, potentially, but you really want to save that for your end game. Obviously, Mew not setting up the best doesn't help, but there we go. That's why he didn't really, I guess, set up that great. You want to, allow yourself the opportunity to draw some more cards. Gonna hit the Cram. Do we hit the jump shot here? And we do. It's most likely gonna lead to another Genesect here to see some more cards. Obviously, the draw engine not completely exhausted here. No, actually gonna completely ignore that. Gonna go for the Elisa Sparkle. The Elisa Sparkle instead.
Right, the attach onto the block.
Oh, sneaky.
Fancy. Wow. Okay, so we get to even protect the Mew VMAX. We get to once again get rid of one of these Raltses. Like we were talking about a little bit earlier, right? It's so important to make sure you at least have 2 Raltses on the bench so we can get something going. The Pal Pad is not going to be much help here, so it is going to have to be the Evolve onto the Curlia. And think about it, Kyle, we don't even have the ability to Mirage Step now either, as my goodness, this hand for Cilios is awful. So that Iono is coming out for sure.
Yeah, and if you are Chalo, you're definitely rolling in that. It's being able to get that a free refresh of your own hand. When you don't only have one Genesect on board, is huge. You're gonna see the counter catcher come out here. Gonna most likely try to boss stall here. Force your opponent to burn some resources to get Genesect out of the active. So we'll see if Celio's bought himself enough time here.
What do we get off of the draw? A little bit more, but there is the DTE attached, and then just straight back into the Ice Cube. This Ice Cube has been such a menace so far that Mew VMAX doesn't really have to do much. There's the Crystal Cave that we've been talking about, a little bit more of a Lost Box counter, but able to heal our Genesects mostly, and that's kind of what it's for. But another Block Slider coming out here, straight onto that Curlia, and what we see from Cilios' hand, there's not much help that we can really get here. It really all just depends on the top deck. It is going to be Manaphy. It might just have to be a Scoop? But Super Rod in just to bring some of our resources back. But Kyle, this one's not looking too hot.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the duality of 2 decks here. Obviously, the Gardevoir Mirror, huge chess game. You really just kind of want to take your time and map out your path to victory. And Mew is just hitting straight gas right now. Chalo didn't get what we would consider an ideal start here, but was able to make the most of it, recognizing that, okay, my opponent has a rough board state, and that is one of the instances where you can use Ice Cube in these matchups like this against these slower stage 2 decks, utilizing that Block Slider, to get around, the active Pokemon, and it really hit the opponent where they hurts. Obviously getting that Manaphy out, a couple turns too late is tough stuff here for Celio. And it looks like, Chalo, this could be a quick one. Chalo looks like they're hitting the rocks right now.
Got the ability to Fusion Strike system for 2 more, but yeah, the Ice Cube has definitely been in the gym to add insult to injury. Just going to be milling the path to the peak out so we can get 5 more off of this first Fusion Strike system. Probably looking for more ways that we can just add more cards to the hand. See the Chromatic, it is going to pass because once again, Mew players get every single thing that they need whenever they want it here. And with that Chromatic, you are able to, if you're able to roll that heads. The
sweet God.
This is mean. I don't care at this point, Kyle. This is actually so mean.
Yeah, you're just hitting all the combo pieces you need here. It's like, oh, you're gonna bring up your You're going to put up your Manaphy? Cool. I'll just bring my friend outside to knock them out with the block slider instead. So, again, ISQ's been a fun addition to this deck since rotation. I'm obviously a huge enjoyer myself. And, yeah, Xelia's just going to wrap things up. So, what was a meticulous first step between the two? Is that Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
I just thought the same thing. I'm so glad you said something.
Zoinks, Scoob. Certainly a Zoinks on the side of Celio there. Again, that's sometimes Mew just has it, man. That's just one of those decks where, like you said, there are certain decks where they just kind of have everything in hand. In this matchup, I've talked to other Gardevoir players, Mew is not necessarily a fun matchup for them. It kind of forces them to commit to the big swingers earlier than usual. And if Mew's able to hit the hot start, it just kind of makes your game that much harder to come back on, especially if Mew's able to, net KOs with these one prize attackers.
Yeah, this one's tough, right? I think it also comes down to the fact that Gardevoir in this tournament is just not playing VIP Pass. It's not playing Mew with that mysterious tail. So it's really up to kind of these first opening hands. But how do you fight consistency with consistency when your opponent is Mew VMAX, where, you have basically that infinite draw?
Yeah, it's tough stuff for sure. A really tough ask in general. So I don't know, man. We'll definitely see what happens here, but it's just looking like it's gonna be a tough matchup for Celia regardless. But man, this matchup just got way tougher.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if Celio goes first and Chalo goes second, you still have the possibility of a turn 1 donk with Meloetta or that block slider going on in, and that's also going to be a mulligan on Celio's side. Definitely not looking too hot right now. And from what was such a little bit more of like a quote slower beginning of top 8, now we're looking at kind of an unfortunate start to our top 4. Now, granted, this hand is not looking too bad. We have the Level Ball, the Artisan, and the Iono as well. But we can't even pop that Iono yet. We're going to have to play Artisan down, get another Ralts on the bench, but I'm scared, Kyle.
Yeah, this is not looking too great. Again, this matchup specifically is really dependent on how quickly you're able to get yourself set up, and if you're not able to get the start that you need, it just really makes that having to piece it together just makes it that much tougher on you. So again, Celio is going to make the most of it. Going to hit obviously hit the Artisan and get some Pokemon down on the board, and going to pass the buck along to Chalo. But again, Chalo's also going to be able to utilize that Artisan as well. If you don't have the means of getting Meloetta or Ice Cube out, they will be able to be seeked out via the Artisan. So
I would love to be a fly on the wall in Chalo's hand, right? Are we able to find the turn 1 knockout with Meloetta potentially, or with Ice Cube? Going to be able to thin just a little bit with that Artisan, because once again, like you just mentioned, both decks do benefit from this in certain ways. I think Gardevoir much more than Mew, but let's see. We're going to be grabbing the Ice Cube again. What an absolute menace. Your favorite Pokemon.
That's my goat.
We're going to be seeing the Ultra Ball come on out here. Probably going to be grabbing another Genesect, maybe even a Mew. Got to get those bugs on the bench.
Everybody's favorite penguin with anxiety is coming to play here. So there we go. Going to Ultra Ball away a couple of items here. Curious to your Ultra Balling away the escape rope there, which leads me to believe that he does have the out to get Mew out into the active here if need be. Okay, going to Forest Field Stone. Do we do the fate? Okay, looks like we're going to do the Forest Field Stone, probably for a VIP pass if you're doing it on the first turn. You don't necessarily want to do that, but sometimes you kind of have to, or we just go against for the Sparkle play.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. So we could potentially have another Fusion Strike Energy in the hand. There's the Switch card. It is going to be the Mew here.
Oh, we could psychically could potentially be on deck here. Nope. Okay, yeah. No, I see. Okay, no, I see what we're doing here. Yep, just gonna vacuum away the Artisan, draw fresh 3 cards, see what you get here.
And of course, because it's Mew, we're gonna see a VIP pass, right? Like, okay, all right.
Here's that.
Someone clip that. Does YouTube have clips, please?
That's crazy.
That is so funny. I cannot believe I called that.
The commentator's curse is
curse.
universal.
I'm so sorry, Celio. I'm so sorry, man. That's so funny and so terrible. 120 onto the Raw Sanctum block slider. And Kyle, Celio's hand, we do have Rare Candy Shining Arcana, but we need a lot more than that to get us back in the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be Cecilio's thinking about it. It's like, all right, at least let me get the Gardevoir on deck here. I can draw a couple more cards, and then Iono, depending on what we go. Or you obviously your Iono first, and then see the next 2 cards. So you see a total of 8 cards here. All right, so not bad. You know, definitely you definitely have a salvageable state of play here. You know, you're gonna be able to Artisan potentially down for another Pokemon. You got an energy off the Shining Arcana, so that's good.
We also have reversal energy in hand as well, so we can actually get rid of the Ice Cube before it does any more damage here. So we are going to be grabbing the Curlia, throwing that on to our bench. Refinement, as soon as we bench this Ralts too. Another Artisan as well, so it is, if we're Celio, we're taking a very nice big breath of relief because we do have a way of somewhat bringing this back. Now, with not a lot of Ralts, we are going to be grabbing that Screamtail here, and we're going to be using the Refinement. So, I'm going to be pitching that Psychic Energy off, and we're going to be pulling another one and a Worker. So, we have plenty of draw for next turn. But once again, as I said, because now officially, since we're down in prize cards, can actually get a knockout here off of the Brainwave, and that Ice Cube going to be heading straight into the discard pile.
Yeah, Ice Cube definitely, getting his money's worth for sure in this matchup. So now you have to worry about the action, the biggest, threat in the room here, and that's going to be Mew the potential Mew VMAX here. So all right, you're going to see the Judge come through here. That's going to rough up the hand here for Celio, and it's going to at least guarantee a 5th card in the hand here. Oh, the Force Heal still coming down again, just kind of probably going to thin out. Obviously you've utilized that V-Star power already. Hit the Artisan to bring out Meloetta out of the deck. So now you have your biggest gun in the arsenal coming out here.
Yeah, but with 2 Fusion Energy already in the discard, thanks to the Ice Cube going down, could just be a thinning method here. Ultra Ball here going to be coming into play, getting rid of that Echoing Horn and the Battle VIP Pass, as we are going to be throwing out the Mew VMAX onto the field. We still have another Fusion Strike system to go through, and we want to be drawing as much as possible here. There's a Lost Vacuum to be getting rid of the Crystal Cave that goes straight into Lost Zone, and there goes the Artisan as well. So, going to be Fusion Strike systeming for 5 here. We need an energy attach. We need potentially like anything else. There is the double turbo. There's the word I was looking for. And now Mew VMAX cooking right now with the attack here, hitting for 190. The Fusion Strike cross Kyle, you know the words.
Cross Fusion Strike for Technoblast. Yep, again, that's all she wrote. Again, Mew's able to sequence that nicely. Celio not having a great hand to play with here off the Judge. Going to be refined for a couple more cards. Nothing great to play with here either. Just kind of take a look at the options here. Is it worth even evolving into the Guard EX? Again, you really don't want to give your opponent that option. That option early. It's not a terrible option against Mew, honestly, because Guard EX is a viable attacker in this matchup. The downside is, Mew has so many damage modifying cards in their arsenal that it allows you that it really leaves your Guardian EX susceptible to being revenge KO'd. But we're gonna see the tried and true here from Celio. Gonna boss up the you're gonna boss up the Genesect and pass most likely. Maybe trying to take a look at how many tablets are left in the deck. Looks like one hit the Lost Zone earlier, so it's like, okay, is it worth it? Like, do I evolve into Big Guardy right now?
Yeah, no, it's as you know, one of our management PJ says, Judge Path Prey. Now it's Boss Genesect and Prey that we're unable to get it out of the active here. This one's looking so rough if you're Celio. You know, we could try and get something going, but obviously we don't want to get rid of the Gardevoir EX, but I feel like we just need to Mirage Step at all costs, Kyle. So we are going to be attaching on to potentially the Screamtail, but we have to Psychic Embrace onto this Mirage Step, Curlia. We have to fight back as best as possible, because honestly, next turn, if we're able to get that Genesect V out of the active, it's going to be 3 prize cards to 5. It's not looking too hot.
Yeah, I think there's actually enough energy in the deck to make this work. So I remember, like I said before, Guardian EX is a viable attacker here. So it looks like we could just see the attachment from. Yep, he's just gonna retreat out, promote, attach from hand, and then get the 190 knockout on Genesect. So smart stuff there from Celio. Again, like I said, Guardian EX is a viable attacker in his deck. You know, there's definitely an avenue there for him to do that. But now comes the scary part. You know, do you, you run a huge risk, doing that, and 270 isn't a hard number for you to hit. Especially with Fusion Strike energy on the, in the board still, it's possible. Obviously, with Ice Cube out of the picture, it's going to be a little bit of a harder number to hit. There's 1 damage modifier, so that's huge.
Oh, and the Town Store too. See how this one is going to go. Going to be able to grab the tool too.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to be able to grab here. Just another Force Seal to thin things out.
Yeah, obviously. I feel like if we're able to take out the EX, it'll be probably as good as done for Cram-O-Matic here to, thin the cram. So it is going to be the tails though, but that does mean we get a nice big Fusion Strike system for 5, and then we have another one after that if we're able to mill properly here. Once again, 1 power tablet already in play. Think we need how many more, Kyle? Just based off of math.
Well, if we're swinging for 190 and you're doing 30 more right now, so you're hitting for 220. You need to hit 2 more power tablets.
Yeah. Honestly, is there a world where we just go on ahead and swing again with the EX?
You can, yeah. I mean, there isn't really a great avenue here. Ooh, that's huge as well.
That's a play. Yeah, that's a good play too, because now we're essentially locked into this Gardevoir. Now, granted, we do have the Ultra Ball to work through, but that Pal Pad going to shuffle back in. Probably both bosses. Nope, just Boss and Iono back into the deck here too. We still also have a Fusion Strike system for 2 more. So we'll see what we can get set up for next turn. But honestly, Chalo is chillin', Kyle, this game.
Yeah, definitely thought about going for the big swing there, but it was like, all right, I'm not going to be able to get that. What is my tertiary option? And the tertiary option is just as good. Like I said, Celio definitely ran a risk by attacking with the Guardian EX there, both on the Revenge KO op. You kind of had to, given how his board state was. But now you have no draw engine on deck. You have a damaged attacker and no gusting card. And off the top deck, though, this is a huge. It's an energy, and this you're at least be able to get somebody else out on the field here. But what do you go for? Do you go for Greninja? Maybe try to draw 2 more cards. Ooh, but not even an option to play with here.
I don't even think 4 energy onto the Zacian is enough to take a whole VMAX out. And granted, even if you were to grab the Zacian, you have to remember that Mew VMAX also hitting into the choice belt. You can tell Celio's thinking about it so hard here. There's also no Ralts left in deck either, so we can't even go on ahead and start setting up another Gardevoir here. So it is going to have to be the Zacian to go on ahead and get started here. That could potentially just start swinging, but man, this is tough. I mean, it's just... I feel like Gardevoir without VIP Pass is much more of a toss-up than Gardevoir with VIP Pass.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Obviously Celio showed his grit, being able to get through most of a tougher matchup last time, but it's just such tough stuff, man.
Okay, here we go. Psychic Embrace once again onto the Scream Tail. So at this point, we just kind of sacrifice our single prizers, right? We just want to kind of slow it down as much as possible. And Celios has been doing a great job of still holding strong with, you know, all you have to do is take out one, all you have to do is take out one Mew VMAX and you win this game, but it's so difficult. There's the Zacian though, so potentially a Roar the Sword angle. There's actually a lot of things that we can do here.
Yeah, you definitely have options to play with here, but man, that hand is small. This is such tough stuff.
Yeah, there's only one energy in discard 2, and I believe it's a reversal. Yeah, there's like so much math to be thinking of here too. Let's see. It might just be the Miracle Force just to get some energy on the board, and then you hope for something else to work out. But it will just be the Miracle Force for 190, passing it on over. Honestly, if we're able to get the other Mew swinging and that Gardevoir goes, hey, look.
Nope, and Choice Belt's on deck, so that's... Oh, no, you're just going to go for the... I was going to say, you could just swing in to Zacian with the Choice Belt, so... because that is a V Pokemon you could swing on, but no, choosing not to do so. Also, I don't think he can anyway because he attacked last turn. So I don't think this deck plays more than 2 Choice Belts. Also, so hold on, I'll confirm that. But
yeah, it's only 1, 2 actually. So this
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Max Miracle for the knockout here. Is this enough energy to do it? I don't know, Kyle.
You need it. So the move is
No.
it's 60. It's 60 plus 30. So let's see. The 3 is 150. I think you need at least like 8. I think you need at least like 8 or 9 energies. But yeah, no. Sealer recognizing it, just trying to soften up the walls the best that he can. You know, because a power tablet was burnt already. You know, Celio's out of 1-hit KO range here. So I think the strategy is just here, just to kind of keep rotating between these Mews and swinging, because Psychic Leap is off the table here because of the board state,
Right.
and I don't believe I see a recovery card in here. No, there's no penny or anything in the list here for Chalo, so
I think we're gonna just try and draw into the boss here naturally.
yeah, because Sealer just has to knock out a singular Mew here to get the knockout. So let's see, one of those things where you're just kind of stalling for time, swinging for 190 until you get what you need.
Dramatic. Oh, it's a Tails. We still have 1 Fusion Strike system to go to, so we have 2 more cards that we can go on ahead and grab. See if the top deck is going to be gracious or if we're going to go into a game number 3. It's still looking pretty grim, Kyle. I'm not gonna lie. Cross Fusion Strike.
Yeah, having the 3rd Mew VMAX to play around with here is tough. So unless Celio top decks the boss here, this game is. Oh, that's
God,
crazy!
No way! Oh my...
Wow.
Built different.
Mew gets it, man. All right, so there you go. That's your path to victory. 2 Mew
That
VMAXs.
was looking so tough. That was looking so tough. My goodness, look at the prizes. The prizes were awful. Oh my god. Celios Network, man. Just a miracle counter catcher off the top. What a top deck. That would be like when you go to regionals and you see the broadcast just like flashing out top deck now. Oh my goodness. Celios fighting back. That counter catcher was insane.
Yeah, again, your back was against the wall there, and you really needed that to come out in your favor. So we love to see it. So if you're a Celio's Network fan, make your voice heard. That was some crazy stuff. Again, fighting for his life out here, for lack of a better term, against what's a pretty tough matchup already. So let's see how it pans out here in Game 3. Winner takes all. Going up, we'll have to go up against the Lugia matchup. So,
all right, game number 3. All comes down to the starts once again. There's so many options here too. See how this one is going to go. It's probably going to be Mew going first, because once again, Gardevoir doesn't really attack on the first turn. So Mew able to really kind of get set up here. We weren't really able to see Ice Cube shine like we did last game. So I'm interested to see. This start is awful, Kyle, for Celios.
Good.
Oh, God. We still have the Iono, though, but we have to start Zacian. We do have to Roar. Not looking too pretty.
It ain't great. It certainly is not a great start here. Starting Genesect again. My gosh. That's a tough... Like, neither of these guys have started great so far, so...
Nest Ball, though. Okay. Grabs the Mew. Battle VIP pass. I like to say that's a Diet Deluxe Battle VIP pass when you're able to get the Battle VIP pass into the Nest Ball.
Yeah,
so
it's Kirkland VIP pass.
Oh, absolutely. You go to the store just for that one. Oh, okay. Then just a pass here. So we're probably going to level ball for the Ralts, and then we're just gonna hit it straight with the Iono. Yeah, things aren't looking too hot, but we do have the Mirage Step Curlia in deck ready to go.
Yeah, that's obviously huge stuff here. A huge part of of your equation. If you're able to get that far, but like you said, probably gonna just slam the Ralts down, hit the Iono, and see what becomes of it. Might as well throw an attachment on for turn as well. So
yeah, absolutely. There we go. So we want to get this Zacian essentially out of here too, but oh god, still. Ugh. I mean, we have Curlia, but we are just gonna have to roar the sword here. Granted, we do also have the Worker as well, just in case of the Path to the Peak here. But this is not looking pretty. This could be a very easy two-prizer if things go in Chalo's way here. There is another V-Star. There's the V-Max, DTE, and Choice Belt could do it. There's the Escape Rope. And honestly, losing your Ralts here is also super crucial too.
Yeah, losing the Ralts is definitely tough. And, given the state of the board right now, you can play into a Choice Belt, without any damage modifiers. I'm going to get a knockout here. It hits head on the cram. That's huge. Obviously, throughout the course of a game, you're looking to maybe hit like half of the head, the coin flips you hit on. So, as long as you hit heads when it matters, that's all that really matters in these sort of scenarios. There's a double turbo for for turn. You're gonna draw a couple cards with the Fusion Strike system. So we'll see what we get off the draws here. And again, you still have a V-Star power to use if need be, but right now you kind of don't need it. If you knock out the lone Ralts on the board, Celio doesn't have much that he can do here. And that's exactly what we're going to see is the Cross Fusion Strike into the Techno Blast. That is going to be a quick 190 and a knockout here for Chalo. Yeah,
what do you even do if you're Chalo here? Or if you're Celio here, just going to just Zinnia's Resolve. You got a Fog Crystal so we can get started with another Ralts, but this tournament for Celio has been such hard work, but we are just going to use the Counter Catcher once again to stall. Here we go. It is going to be 3 energy onto that Zacian. We will be roaring once more, but I also wouldn't be opposed to just, getting the damage with the Storm Slash out.
Yeah, Storm Slash for 150 doesn't seem like a bad idea here. You're going to force your opponent to burn a resource to get out of the active, whether it be a switch cart, or an energy attachment for turn, or make them burn their V-Star power for it. Obviously, if you want to be able to attack the Zacian, this turn, or you just play the game where you just keep knocking out the lone, the Ralts here. That's the tough part about playing these Stage 2 decks, is that when you only have one of anything to play with here, as you see Ice Cube coming down here, so that's also a play. Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, no.
2 pieces of candy.
Yeah, no. Celios is definitely having a very, very tough game. I would not envy this person at all. This is Brick City on Gardevoir, which is why I'm missing that VIP pass in there so much. But honestly, it's a Mew thing. Mew does what Mew does. I mean, Mew always seems to get it because that's what is the appeal of this deck. You're just able to draw so much. One more though, and like you said, Kyle, we still have the We still have the V-Star power from Star Alchemy to get Genesect out of the active if we need to. But we're just going to keep drawing this one card. Maybe we'll pull into the switch card or something. But honestly, yeah, we're just going to use that V-Star. Get at least something going. But honestly, if we're able to just sack the Ralts again, oh, that one's got to hurt. Nope. Switch card into the Mew VMAX. See how much damage our friend Zacian on the bench or in the field is going to be taking.
Well, considering you took 2 damage modifiers there, it's going to be a clean 250, and that's a 2-prize knockout. Celio hasn't given him many of those throughout the game here, but unless he top decks a rare candy here, he's not going to be able to get any sort of offense.
Oh my god. All right, you need to evolve into Curlia and then hope you can't even Mirage Step. There's no world where you get Mirage Step here. You have to evolve into Refinement Curlia and then hope that you get a backup Pokemon, because if not, it's curtains. It has to be. And
well, you get Artisan, so you're at least guaranteeing yourself another lease on life here to stall for another turn. And you have the Rare Candy Guardian hand, so barring natural disaster, you should be able to survive into the next turn here.
I love how Cilios is fighting, just like not giving up no matter what here.
Yeah, man. Listen, play to your outs. It looks like a dire situation right now, but you gotta always play to your outs. You never know what could happen in the next turn. That's what could happen in the next turn. You're gonna get Echoing Horn and potentially into it. Yep.
Oh no!
Oh, come on, live. There we go. Yep. There we go.
When live plays it out, you see the ending, right? But the game is like, but wait, no. I want you to look at what your opponent's doing. Your opponent's playing so well. Oh, I'm sure we'll talk about it back on the caster's screen, though.
Yep.
Kyle.
Hold on for 1 second, folks. We'll be right back. All right, guys. We're back with just us. And, yeah. Tough stuff there if you're a Celios Network fan. Unfortunately, 2 really rough games is all it takes sometimes. And again, able to piecemeal it together very well in that second game. But that third game was just that Echoing Horn. Once you give up once you give up 1 2-prize, knockout, you're on odd prizes. Just makes the game that much tougher. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna cut my losses. But excellent stuff there from Celio, top 4 again. And make sure to check him out on YouTube. One of my favorite channels to watch in regards to information on anything regarding the new sets, and fellow New Jerseyan. So we love to see it. But that is going to be Chalo hailing from Chile, and they're going to be streaming for us going into this finals match. So hang tight, folks. We're going to waiting for that to boot up here. But it's going to be going up against Lugia, a deck that I love very dearly. Playing the new it's sort of model. There's been this list kind of going around lately where you play the Lugia with the basic energies in it, because Earthen Vessel is broken, and it's a great addition. It's one of those cards we haven't gotten to talk about yet from the set. Just to kind of take a peek over here as we're waiting for the live stream to start. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. Lugia, I think, is one of those decks where it's kind of in a weird renaissance period right now. Obviously coming off of winning Sacramento, was a very popular deck going into Toronto. Showed up in some spades. Sam Chen started 8-0 with Single Strike Lugia. So both variants of Lugia seeing a lot of play right now. I kind of compared it to when Michael Jordan retired to play baseball and then came back to win 3 more NBA championships. I feel like Lugia is kind of in its old man era right now. But we'll see what happens. There's a lot can definitely shake out. This is going to be a tough matchup for sure, especially for the colorless variant of Lugia. But my friend Drapion V might have something to say about that. So
yeah, I was going to say the same thing, right? Looking on over at the list. This is going to be a little bit different for Chalo here. I was just thinking to myself, Kyle, what format are we in? Are we back in Silver Tempest, where it was just Lugia and Mew kind of
God, I hope not. No, wait, go back.
Go back. I want to talk about Day Camp's list here, though. This is going to be the first time that we're seeing them on our stream this evening. Got, the 2 Luminion, the 2 Snorlax, but I want to talk about the last 4 Pokemon that I'm looking at here. Got the Drapion V, of course. We know why it's good, especially because we're able to power it up. Even if a path is in play. But we also have that Mew EX, the Radiant Charizard, and the Iron Hands as well. Can you imagine softening up a Mew VMAX with like a Lugia hit, for example, and then going on in with the Amp You Very Much to take 4 prizes? That is catastrophic.
Chef's kiss. But we're going to jump into the stream and see if that comes into fruition. So hang tight for 2 seconds, folks. And we look at that game already in progress here. Looks like we are. This is cool. We get to see the game in Spanish. As
right, go
obviously,
ahead, Kyle. Cast all in Spanish. Go.
No. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna see on Chalo's side here. Obviously, starting with the Meloetta here, and we see the Mew EX again, a new addition. From the obviously the 151 set, has really found a home here in Lugia because it gives Lugia kind of another option that it's never had before, and that's a pivot. This is a deck. Obviously having free retreat and being able to draw cards is huge. It definitely adds a lot to the equation here, and there you go. It's like we love to see that even in Spanish. Medagoza, hits heads. So. Going second here, obviously we're going to see Lumineon come down. This is most likely going to search out to Professor Burnett, thin out those Archeops. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Most likely Professor Burnett if TCG Live says so. But really, really strong day. Really, really strong, what's it called? Turn 2 from Day Camp. But the thing is, you only got 1 Lugia here. Now, granted, so far so good, a little bit more safe. We do have the opportunity to bench Ice Cube, but if this Mesagosa comes up heads, and it will, that is a opportunity to grab a VMAX. That's an opportunity to grab another Genesect for some more draw. Just going to be doing a little bit more prizes, but honestly, what our line of play should be is we need to get that Lugia out of here, knowing what is already in our discard pile.
Yeah, it's tough. You only have like a finite number of search options in Lugia. So you kind of have to think to yourself, like, all right, do I try to go for a longer play? Do I try to bench a second Lugia? But instead, the hardest part, honestly, is truly just getting Archeops in the discard pile. So if you're able to do that, that's huge stuff, obviously. You're going to need a lot to happen here for your opponent to get the KO here. Obviously, you're going to need 3 Fusion Strike energies and a damage modifier. On top of that, as well as a gusting option. So and even then, you're not going to be able to get all of that stuff because then you had to use an Elsa's to get the actual KO here. So you'll be able to get a KO on the Mew EX, which puts you up in a prize race. But, I think Lugia is willing to take that trade because, you'll be able to feed it nothing but single prizes later in the game. But we'll see how it shakes down here. Unfortunately, the Mew's going to be getting the raw end of the deal here for that Melodious Echo.
Starting out with 2 prizes, though, not exactly the worst thing in the world. Gift energy on Lugia, so we avoid a little bit of that unnecessary draw. But it will be Chalo getting these 2 prize cards, and it will be one of the Genesects and one of the power tablets as well. We're sending 4th Luminion. We don't have Mesagosa anymore either, so it is just going to be the attach onto Luminion. Yeah, not looking too hot here, Kyle.
Well,
all probably for another Lugia, right?
No, you're going to get a Snorlax here, so potentially, again, you could... Okay, you're going to see the research here. You're going to get rid of a couple of energy, and you're going to pray that you get either a Ball Search or the V-Star off of this. Oh, you're going to have to coin flip for it? Oh, no. Hits heads on the Capturing Aroma. That will allow you to search out an evolution Pokemon. Lugia V-Star coming out here. We're going to Summoning Star to get Luminion out here. And again, because of the way that... that Day Camp has this list. And he had those Ultra Ball. That's crazy. But I was going to say, because of the way the Day Camp has this list carefully curated, you do play the 1 of Water Energy in this deck So Lumineon is actually, is a viable attacker in this deck. So, we're gonna see at a bare minimum, we're gonna get to see a Luminous Sign here for 100 damage to knock out the Meloetta, and get rid of your liability in Lumineon.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll probably see the double turbo attached. Yeah, I think calling Lumineon an attacker here, because I feel like Lumineon is just kind of a hit and run. It's just like, all right, I'll do this 100 damage with that Aqua Return, and then go back into the deck, and then come back out when essentially you need me. But getting this Meloetta out of here is a really, really good idea, just to kind of like get these Fusion Strike energies out of play. And honestly, it's not looking too hot on Chalo's side.
Yeah, this is the sort of trade that you'll take here. You're going to obviously reshuffle Lumineon back into the deck, and the energy's attached. So, Lugia lacks, a couple of things, being able, you lack the ability to get resources back in general, whether it be supporters or energy, unless you're playing single strike. So, being able to get that KO here, promote a single prizer, to keep yourself at least, in arm's reach of the prize trade, is certainly huge stuff. So, there's nothing that can be knocked out without some heavy damage modifiers on the bench. At least we'll continue to put Chalo ahead here. So we'll see how it shapes out here.
Yeah, we got to figure out what we're cramming here. It could potentially be the Echoing Horn. It could be the Switch card, but honestly, I would hold on to that Switch card because it seems like a lot of players kind of like to boss that Genesect when they need a little bit of stall. So I would say the Horn, but it will be the Switch card here. See what we are going to be pulling off of the Chromatic. It will be a Heads. So things are looking pretty good. See what card we're going to be grabbing. It will be the boss. So we are going to be going for the boss play onto the Lugia V-Star, which I actually don't hate at all, Kyle.
Yeah, that could be an option here. You could also, obviously you have the power tablets in deck to be able to go for it, and plenty of draw to maybe try to hit it. So, or we're gonna Echoing Horn back in a friend here.
The Mew, the Mew on the first turn. Oh, that's tough. And we still get draw off of this as well. So we don't even care about the Lugia V-Star here. Oh my goodness. The attach onto the Ice-Q as well. So we do have the Genesect Fusion Strike system going on. I don't even think we even need to power tap.
No,
here.
You don't. You're doing a square 190 already.
Or we could be retreating into the Ice-Q and have the Ice-Q do the damage, which is a thing. I mean, it's an option. It's a little scary, but there's the Elisa, and there's also Path to Peak. It's not going to be enough, though, so we might grab another Genesect, but honestly, we are sitting pretty right now if we're Chalo.
Yeah, I'd say Path is kind of superfluous in this matchup. Like, you really need it. Yeah, yes, thank you. You only really need it, like, prior to Lugia popping the V-Star power. So here, it's just, I mean, it'll shut off restart, but, like, there's already a gift energy on the deck anyway. So if Lugia's gonna get knocked out, it was gonna get it was gonna get the card draw anyway. So here you're just gonna go for the Fusion Strike system. Techno Shock. Ooh, that's even cooler in Spanish. Hell yeah. There we go. That's gonna be 4 prize cards taken, and all of them because of Mew.
Yeah.
Mew on Mew crime.
True betrayal too. Town Store and the Forest Sealstone. And by the way, we haven't even burned the Forest Sealstone yet. So that Ice-Q ready to go. We also still have Elisa Sparkle as well, Kyle. So there's tons of options that we can take here. It's going to have to be Lugia V-Star swinging for the hills for this turn at least. We get that nice little 220 here. There is the boss, though. So we are going to be taking a Genesect with us. But little does Daycamp know that we have another one ready to go to just throw down for some more draw.
Yeah, I was going to say the only real play to get back into the game here is to go for that, is to get a 2 prize knockout on Genesect. So now you set yourself up in a scenario where, there's the damage modifier already burnt. I don't think that it's going to take some time to get there. If you're Chalo, but you do have Town Stored to get the Choice Belt, and you do have a Fusion Strike system, the V-Star power to search out a power tablet here. So I believe you have it looks like you have everything you need to make this happen this turn, because otherwise, you're hoping that you're hoping that Day Camp doesn't have the Genesect in hand right now.
Yeah, the Drapion. Yeah, the Drapion.
Yeah, the Drapion. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've done enough to get the 3 prize cards. Now you must, get through this turn and hope that hope in those 5 cards in your hand you have the search option to get into to Drapion.
Yeah, so we're gonna be putting down the Genesect and the Mew, and also Town Store as well. Because we can use Town Store to get the Choice Belt as well. So we have 3 Fusion Strike systems out of 23 cards. So if we're able to mill properly, we can totally get there. But there is the Choice Belt, so that's one piece of the puzzle that we need. But we need a couple more. We also do have that V-Guard energy on there. So we need a lot of power tablets, actually, to get this going. And I don't see it just yet. That one's tough, Kyle.
Yeah, it's real tough stuff as we continue to try to make it happen here. We're still streaming? Yeah, okay, we're still good.
We're good.
Sorry, my browser just shut out for a second, but we're good.
Yeah, we just got to mill at this point. Just got to keep milling. 16 cards left in deck. We do have the Lost Vacuum as well, so we can still get something out of here. Or out of, play. So we can Fusion Strike system for 4, but that's so tough. Not getting at least one of the power tablets off. You need all of them. Iono too. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize the Iono's still in play. That we haven't supported yet this turn.
Yeah, that's tough because now that's even less cards for you to potentially have the search option for Drapion if he's even in the deck. We don't know what's on the other side here for for Day Camp. This could be huge. Yeah, it was gonna be a tough draw regardless to try to get this to work. But
what do you do? We talked about it. Drapion still kind of waiting in the wings as well. So it's a little bit of a difficult choice here. Oh my god, only one. That sucks.
Yeah, that stinks. You'd have to. I guess you could maybe escape rope into the other Mew. Kind of force him to choose between the 1 prize knockout here and get yourself down to 1, which looks like exactly what's going to happen here. So if anything, you probably give up the Snorlax, or one of the Arceus, because you don't necessarily need the energy to attack with Drapion. That's assuming that's what what the play we're gonna get here is. Okay, no, we just going with the Ice Cube. Gonna throw 80 on the active there. So okay. Yeah, that's definitely a smart play for sure. It kind of forces you to burn an energy to get out from underneath this Archeops in the active. But again, if you have the draw to Drapion, you'll be able to get through this. Okay, attaching with the double turbo. Okay, no, doing their own double turbo. So it looks like they might not have the out here. So.
Yeah, they could just be swinging with Snorlax here, but you need some hand disruption because honestly, our friend Chalo has it in hand. We see the boss, we see the tablet. It looks all good and ready to go, but we need some hand disruption, and we need it now. We need a Judge, an Iono, something, because once again, it's just not looking too good if the hand stays as is.
Oh!
Nope.
Does he have it?
Oh, the Luminion? For the boss? Or for the Iono?
Or for research. True. Potentially. That's an option as well.
Yeah, but
it's
going to be for the Iono, because once again, you got to disrupt the hand, and even though Mew has the ability to just keep drawing, it's just so, exhausting to have like all of those cards be put at the bottom. Now, granted, there are 3 Genesect Vs. We are going to be able to Fusion Strike system consistently, but man, like that was game in hand 100%.
Yeah, no, that was smart. Again, if you don't have the way to get the knockout, or you had to go through an extra layer of dirt there yourself. Gets the tablet, gonna play the tablet down. Do you have the boss's orders? Can you get there?
Yeah, honestly, I would just I was about to say, just throw back in the boss and then Fusion Strike system again.
Yeah.
So we just need to pull 1 boss here. Here we go. There it is.
That was easy.
For sure. And the tab as well. But when you properly mill this far down, like you're like smooth sailing. You're able to really just kind of pull it. So it will just be the Cross Fusion Strike Techno Shock for 250 thanks to our power tablets and our choice belt, and that is going to be Chalo going up in the set 1-0 so far.
Yeah, I mean that's huge stuff. Like you said, you have to play your outs there for sure. It was a matter of were you going to be able to get around play around the Drapion there. Everyone knows that it's there. It's no secret that's what this deck is probably hanging on to at this point. But yeah, that's just again a great way to play around your outs for sure. So excellent stuff right there from Chalo. 1 game away from winning your late night TCG this week. So let's see what Day Camp has left in the in the old tank here. Again, this version of Lugia definitely has a much tougher time into Mew than Lugia's past. With the lack of consistent dark type attackers really makes this matchup a little bit more difficult. But we'll see how it. We'll see, man. It was definitely right down to the wire. So it's just a matter of of being able to get the getting your trump card.
Okay, this hand is okay at best.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's fine.
This could be a judge too. I would hate to have both.
Oh God, Mew again in the active?
Yeah, Mew again in the active and also going first. So we'll see what Capturing Aroma has for us here. We'll be head, so it will be that evolution. So going to be grabbing, of course, as Lugia does, the Archeops. We want to get those in the discard turn 1 as fast as possible. And it's a double heads here, so Day Camp firing back on all cylinders right now. If we have Ultra Ball too, no, it's going to be the Mesa Gosa first. So playing to the outs, thinning as best as possible. 3 heads in a row. Kyle, Day Camp needs to buy a lottery ticket. I have never seen Lugia hit heads this much.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's huge stuff. It's nice when it works for you for a change.
Oh no! But you're unable to get them into the discard, and you did all of that.
It's fine.
For Chalo to just judge the third, probably.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Like as long as you're. I mean, obviously it depends on what you get off the judge for sure, but like Mezagoza is still an option here. You can potentially hit heads on. You have an out to get into Luminion, to get into Burnett with the turn 2 play to pop off even harder. The only downside is like having to start Mew again in the active here is very unfortunate. Mew is really not a great card you want to see in this matchup because it has such little HP and. Because of the little HP and how much it takes for Mew to knock it out, it's really just a liability on your bench. So, unfortunate stuff right here. It's not going to get knocked out turn 1 here for sure. So that's nice here for Day Camp, but we'll see we'll see how their hand looks off the judge. So.
Yeah, I don't like our friend Chalo's hand either. So yeah, gonna have to protect the Mew. A VMAX in hand. We also have 2 Elisa Sparkle and another fusion energy here, but definitely not a pretty hand. See what the Mesa Goes is going to turn up for Day Camp, but that's so unfortunate. to go through all of that to get 2 Archeops and then unable to use it all. Let's see. It is the heads. We will be able to find Luminion that will be using that Luminous Sign to grab Professor Burnett, that will be able to discard those 2 Archeops. We will be able to start swinging, but it would be nice to see a boss onto that Mew V because there's only one there right now. Okay, never mind.
Gonna grab Snorlax instead. Do we have the Luminion in hand already? Okay,
yes,
there we go. Yep, there we go. The equation, the hard part of the game has been completed. You know, do you have Lumina in the deck? Yes. Is Burnett prize? No. Okay, I can play the game now. So, again, Lugia has fallen, again, quite the way from grace, you know, than when it reigned supreme. But, you know, once you're able to get popping off here, man, being able to play up to 5 energies in a turn, you can't scoff at that. It's one of the best decks in the format for a reason. And here we go. Looks like the option is going to be to attack with the Snorlax. You see the therapeutic energy coming down there that will prevent Snorlax from going to sleep after doing Thumping Snore. And so that's going to be at least a knockout on the Meloetta. And there we go. 180. See ya.
Yeah, looking real good. Got that unfazed fat Snorlax, so we're going to be sending Mew up into the active. Do have Elisa Sparkle, so we do at least have a turn to kind of play with here, but here's the Forest Seal Stone. Got that attached. We can also hit the Mesa Gosa as well. So we're going to go on ahead and hit it. Honestly, I've never seen Lugia hit more heads than I have in my entire life. And that is going to be Chalo, unfortunately, hitting tails here. So we're going to have to evolve into Mew VMAX. We're going to have to start milling. We have to get some more Pokemon down on the bench, Kyle. We have to Fusion Strike System for a couple more, but it will just be the Genesect. We're going to be using Star Alchemy off of the Forest Seal Stone. What are we grabbing here? What are we grabbing? It will be the Ultra Ball. So we want to just ensure more here, but Ultra Ball coming into play. Just going to be getting rid of both of Elisa's. What do you think about that?
That's fine. You've already accelerated all the Fusion Strike energy you need at this point. So, you know, once Meloetta is knocked out, that's kind of a moot point, that card.
All right, Fusion Strike System for a brand new fresh hand of 4. There's the Power Tablet, and honestly, we have nothing really here that can help us at all at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you played a rope, force him to gust out something small. You know, maybe force him to sack the fish or something, and then, you know, take a 2-prize KO here. But you're still forcing your opponent into, or you're gonna just approach the Lugia. And it's like, okay, no, they're just gonna give up the fish. Interesting.
Yeah, but now the prizes are lopsided just a little bit. Not really too big of a fan. We're going to hold on to the Power Tablet, so we are just going to go for one here. Another Ultra Ball. So we're going to get rid of the VMAX and the Battle VIP Pass for what I'm going to assume is going to be the VMAX here. So, honestly, for a hand that was pretty unforgiving, we got there. It's just a little awkward.
Yeah, you know, again, you know, Genesect is the ultimate cure-all. You're able to play around that nicely. So, again, you're able to hit for max damage with the Fusion Strike energies attached. So it's going to be a quick 2-prize KO here. So now you see how your opponent rebounds. Looks like you're going to send out the Mew again. Having a free pivot here is huge. So going to hit tails on the Mesagoza. So curious what the rest of the hand looks like right now. You know, do they have an out? There's a nest ball coming down. Do we see Big Drap? There he is in all his glory.
There he is, ready to go. And honestly, this is just a free retreat. But we also have the Professor's Research once again to add insult to injury. We can get an attach for turn here as well. Still have, I believe, both Primal Turbos available, but with 4 Fusion Strike Pokemon, we don't even need to power up this Drapion at all. There's no Path to the Peak in play either, so we'll just get the DTE onto Lugia V-Star, what I'm assuming to be the Dynamic Tail going down, and it will be hitting for weakness, but putting that 60 onto Snorlax doesn't matter that much, but now Daycamp gets to take 3 prizes for that knockout.
Yeah, the tough stuff here is that Daycamp literally has the nuts to get a revenge KO here. You have Mew VMAX, you have the tablet to correct math, and the double turbo energy to attach. So that was kind of a nuts exchange right there.
Can you imagine if that path was Lost City too? It was like, all right, yeah, no, you're not getting it anyway. But we do have 3 Fusion Strike systems thanks to Genesect. Ooh, what's the emo? Aww. Very upsetty on that one.
Yeah, Shaggy not feeling that one at all, unfortunately.
Zoink Scoob, if you will.
I hit tails on him as it goes a Scoob.
But we hit the heads on the Chromatic. We get to grab whatever we want here. We'll be the Iono, too. This one's brutal.
Yeah, not a bad call here. Going to throw it on the path and hit the Iono here. So that's going to bring it down to a 2-prize hand here. Again, you already have enough for the revenge KO here. Now you're just trying to mitigate your opponent's ability to draw cards here. And with the Path of the Peak down, you are turning off Mew's restart ability. So you can't even see a 3rd card here.
It'd just be the... just what we need, right? Daycamp. Not playing a Super Rod either, so once this Drapion goes, it's going. Will just be the Crossed Fusion Strike Techno Shock for our friends here playing in the Spanish version. And that's 2 prize cards here, but now you gotta work a lot harder to get this Mew VMAX out of here.
This is why I'm personally a fan of cards like Thornton and Lugia. It allows you a little bit of recovery to help you get these, to help you get some of those silver bullets back. So you could have potentially seen this. As I've seen scenarios where you promote Luminion, you promote Snorlax, you attack, promote with. He's just gonna. Yeah, he's gonna get the boss's order, and that's gonna be. We're gonna see a game 3 here between our 2 competitors.
In finals. And now you give the Mew the ability to choose whether you want to go first or second. This one's gonna be interesting. Shaggy. I just love how the avatar is Shaggy. That might be my first time seeing people actually like customize their character. You know how many people I play that have they're like, oh yeah, my trainer's just a really cute girl. I'm like, yeah, like I love when people actually use their coins for the outfits. That's my favorite thing in the world.
You top deck the boss, Scoob.
Scoob.
It is
game number 3.
I might be able to watch the sunrise soon, guys. This is sick.
Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning for us over here. It's certainly late night, if you will. But this is for all of the marbles. Oh man, there's a ton of codes too. This late night is you get prizes if you get up into our top cuts. I believe we did hit over 227 players, so there's a lot of codes going out to everybody, which is really exciting. So shout out to all of our sponsors. You got the PTCGL store, and if you guys need some codes, what an opening hand. Geez, no Genesect in sight. If you need some codes, use TSS5 to save 5% off your order. That's 2 mulligans. You're giving Mew 2 cards. Wow, that one's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's tough. There's this because of the way that Lugia is constructed. You just sometimes you just have these awful hands.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's.
I feel for you, man. I feel for you, Chalo. This one's not easy. This isn't an easy choice either. Because obviously you want Genesect, but the deck said no. You get every single Mew in your arsenal here. The escape rope, because why not? We're just gonna try and mill.
It's a tough choice for sure. Like you said, you're not cutting off a pinky here, you're cutting off a limb. You don't really need the 4th Mew. That's fine. Getting rid of Ice Cube kind of sucks, but he's not necessarily doing a whole lot. in this matchup because you need to soup up all your Fusion Strike energies to really get the most out of Ice Cube in this matchup. You'd rather just attach those to Meloetta and swing for big knockouts on bigger targets. So that's a fine trade right there. You get a Genesect on the board here, but now what do? You're kind of stuck. So you're gonna at least be able to draw 2, maybe 3 cards here if you're lucky. And one of them will be a VIP pass.
Oh my god, if it's a VIP pass, that's crazy. But once again, I called a VIP pass before. I'm going to call it now. Fusion Strike system for 4. Oh, okay, we get into Genesect. So we don't even need the VIP pass at this point. But we get the attach with that Forest Seal Stone. So we can draw some more cards here. But we also do have Path. And we don't even want to play it, but I actually think we should have played it for the potential Luminion play.
I get why you want to play it, but
the bump anyway.
Yeah, you have to. Lugia plays 4 outs to a stadium, so it's this list also plays a vacuum, so you play an extra out to it. But also at the same time, you don't want. This isn't necessarily a great hand where you want to shut off your Fusion Strike systems. So we'll see what we get off the Ionos here. Not a terrible hand, some you're definitely gonna be able to get rid of some of these things to help course correct yourself.
Okay, still, what are we grabbing? It could be another Lugia here. So let's see, we got another bench going on. And it will just be the Wind, I believe. Fire energy. All right. For the Radiant Zard, I believe, in the deck as well. So,
correct.
Here we go. There is the Mew VMAX. So we're going to be able to hit the Sweet Evolve. We do also have an attack on this turn 1, by the way. So we're going to throw the Mesagosa out there. See if we can thin the deck just a little bit more. I actually think we have Knockout here, Kyle. Because we have the Town Store as well to grab the Choice Belt too. So Choice Belt being a tool. So now we get to thin out the deck to grab 2 VMAXs. We also have Elisa Sparkle as well. So there's Town Store coming down. So we can go on ahead, grab that Choice Belt, and then we can begin. Or I was about to say, I was like, wait, hold on. No, the Choice Belt play is real. But now we're able to get some things out of the hand. We're able to start drawing again thanks to that Fusion Strike system.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to get the double attachment from hand, so you don't even need to burn a power tablet here. You just need the belt to help correct your math. Again, just going to continue to thin things out here. Probably going to ditch the VIP pass, and you can probably ditch the Elisa's, but getting rid of the vacuum is fine too. You want your stadiums to stick, so.
So hard to tell here, but we are just going to grab the Ultra Ball, and we are going to start looking towards how we want to continue here. Going to just grab the Mew VMAX. Once again, this is just expert Mew thinning here. There's Genesect for 4 more cards. We got the Nest Ball. We have another Fusion Strike energy, so we are going to be able to attach once again. As we've been saying, this will be Knockout this turn. And we also have the Elisa Sparkle, so it is going to be the Ice Skew and the Mew or it's just going to be the Ice Skew here, or never mind, just the Mew. I thought I saw Ice Skew glowing, but regardless, getting 2 Mews set up in a turn, not that bad.
Yeah, no, we'll take that.
Why didn't we attach onto the Choice Belt one?
Probably just to kind of save your resources here. Like, you burn the tablet, draw a few more cards, see what you end up getting here. Like, the board state doesn't look great on the other side here for day camp, so this could be over pretty quickly if he doesn't top deck into something crazy.
Fair. Let's see, though. Nope. We'll just be the 240 for Knockout. We're chilling, Kyle.
Yeah, well, getting 2 cards off the gift energy, so you're getting near the bare minimum of what is usually a pretty decent draw for yourself. So we'll see what the response is here. Lone Lugia on the table. What is the top deck? It's a V-Star.
Okay. Good start. What can we get off of it, though?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, gets the heads.
All right, do we see the grab for Luminion into the Professor Burnett? Again, the ladder stage combo that is huge for this deck.
Looks like it, Kyle. Can also grab Snorlax. We can grab Drapion here too. Get a reverse knockout.
Yeah, definitely an option for sure. You know, you, again, don't need the energy. Need a way to get out of the active, though. Okay, there we go. Luminion going to hit the bench as well. So here we go. We're going to get the party started here.
Yeah, get a nice little reversal 3 knockout for this. There's the Professor's Burnett. So now we're able to get 3 prize knockout, and we're also able to get our Archeops set up here too. So we're looking pretty good now. If we're day camp, honestly looking very, very comfortable.
Yeah, and again, do you attack with the Drapion now? I don't think it's a terrible idea. You know, puts you up in the prize trade, and the hand isn't great here for yeah, I mean, you do have to you do have the other Fusion Strike energy to attach from hand. So I mean, but again, it's just one of those things where Drapion's gonna get Revenge KO'd anyway. It looks like there's the singular copy of V-Guard energy is down there, so you're gonna need at least a damage modifier to knock out the Drapion here.
Yeah, but still getting that Lugia juiced up too is just not a bad idea at all either.
No, we'll take those.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the definition of we'll take those.
All right, there we go. The Dynamic Tail throwing the 60 onto the chops. That's going to put you up 3 prizes to 1 here. And sitting at 200 and I believe it's an extra 30 HP you get from the V-Guard energies. So you're sitting at an awkward range for you to have to hit. So.
Yep. Do you also have the Iono as well? So we can definitely get some draw here. Cramomatic, though, going to probably get rid of just the VIP pass. So see what exactly we're pulling here. It is going to be tails. That's unfortunate. But, of course, we'll probably be able to potentially hit heads off of this Mesa Gosa. See, it will be heads. So let's see what we are going to be grabbing here. It will just be a Meloetta too thin real quickly, as we once again will now continue to draw off of the Iono here. So it really all comes down to the next 2 turns. If we're able to get this if we're able to get this KO, it's going to look real good. But honestly, we have boss's orders ready to go as well. I think we're juicing up the Luminion to Aqua Return next turn. But we'll see how exactly that one's going to go.
All right, the stage is set right now. You potentially lost Vacuum away to the stadium. You do have a Genesis to use still for a couple more cards. In fact, you still have all your Genesis to use still, so...
Yeah, no, we're chilling. This is a Mew player's dream. You still have enough time to just kind of, you know, mill the hand, do whatever you need to.
All right, listen, we're just gonna swing with the cross fusion strike here. Again, not gonna, you know, the hand just a little bit of a clunker. You don't want to lose any of these cards right now. They're all kind of important to the equation. Oh, that was enough.
Yep. That was with Choice Belt, so we're good. There was no...
Oh, you know what? That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm doing my math wrong. There we go. All right, cool. Revenge KOs are cool.
Okay, what are we looking for here? It's going to be a tail, so it's going to have to be a basic.
Yeah, what's I'm curious what the wave is here. Is it... Searching the deck is going to be Luminion. Most likely going to try...
What are we looking for?
And this ball going to hit the floor here. Going to bring out Snorlax.
Oh, you know what? We're going to try and get a KO with Ice Cube. looks like.
All right, hits heads.
Here's Luminion. I feel like this Luminion, though, is kind of a sitting duck. Oh, Iono. Okay.
Yeah, that's huge stuff. You obviously assume that your opponent has the out, at all times. Yep. So.
Yeah, just juicing up the Snorlax as well. Hit the Iono here. So those two bosses are going to have to go to the bottom of the deck. That one's going to be a really, really tough draw. If you're able to get it, you're able to get it. Or the Cram-O-Matic for the win, Kyle.
That's crazy.
Collapse Stadium, though, you got to get rid of one. Probably the Ice Cube, right?
It's tough. But yeah, I think you have to get rid of the Ice Cube. I think being able to draw cards is too important there.
Kyle, if the Cram-O-Matic hits heads. Oh my god.
That would be bad.
that would be one way for this game to end. Primal Turbo, though, going to come out. It's probably going to be juicing up our friend Snorlax here. Just needs the one jet energy. There's the lightning, but we can't actually attack with that, so we're going to retreat to the bench. Going to be swinging with our friend Snorlax here. It's all up to this Cram-O-Matic, Kyle. That's it.
Yeah, the most important cram of the evening.
Got switch cart too. Okay.
I can switch.
And now, everybody, the Cram-O-Matic. Oh, we still have V-Star. We still have Star Alchemy.
Oh yeah, yep. Star Alchemy for boss. There we go.
I wanted to end it the fun way.
Nope, no fun allowed at in these parts here. Your fish is cooked. That's gonna be Cross Fusion Strike in the Techno Blast into the knockout here, folks. And there we go. Your late night champion. Oh, get those 7 cards though. Very important stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, TCG Live really likes to let you see the end of the game.
Yeah, there you go. Your late night champ. It's gonna be coming out here to Chalo. Congratulations to Mew. Continue to do its thing, and let's talk more about it back on our screen, Emily.
Yep, got it.
All right, great stuff there from Chalo, as we aforementioned. A hard-fought game, tough stuff, man. Having to navigate around. I think the best part there for him is always having the out to make sure that Drapion does not hang around too long. Being able to get the revenge KO in that matchup is so crucial. So again, as a Lugia enjoyer, I like Mew a lot too. We talked about all night about how these all new decks got thrown into the format. Goldengo, Roaring Moon, Garchomp, EX, Cloth, and friends. Nope, none of that. You will have Mew VMAX and Lugia until you have until you're blue in the face.
Yeah, it's crazy. Once again, we've been saying it all night. Dark type decks are crazy right now. Why would you ever play Mew? Why would you ever play Mew VMAX? Well,
that's why it's still good.
Because it's still good. You still draw cards, and sometimes you just top deck battle VIP pass. But I think that's gonna be it for us. Kyle, you have work in 2 hours. I have a very important meeting in 3. So we're gonna head on to sleep, as much as sleep we could get. Shout outs to the Shuffle Squad, of course, our team. We love everybody on that team. We had a great time in Toronto with everybody. Shout outs to you, Kyle. Shout outs to everybody who's hanging out with us in the late night YouTube chat, and of course in our servers and stuff. Follow us on our social media platforms. You can see them right below our names. We won't go on ahead and chill for too long. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys back here, same time, next week.
Good night, everybody.